So, here we go. All right, and we will be later joined by Luke Wortley. So, what is everyone drinking tonight? I am drinking Brooklyn Defender right here. Let's see.
Saranac Pale Ale.
There we go.
Oh, let me go get my beer. I left it in the fridge. It's
There we go.
frosty. 1 second.
Okay.
Buzz, are you drinking, Buzz?
No, I have to drive in a few hours.
But you have a holiday tomorrow.
Yes, but
Ingemar
I want
told
to do
us
stuff. I want to do stuff.
like
so, where
what?
are you driving to, Buzz?
A bar to get drunk.
I need to get my car fixed and cleaned and stuff. Need to throw things at the junkyard or what you would call it. Stuff.
All the sexy stuff that
Yes.
you do on holidays, right?
Oh, of course. Why not? We have holidays all the time. I mean, it's nothing special.
I've got
You guys, as I was saying this to Buzz before we started recording, but he really does live in a paradise. I mean, Swedish companies, if you have a Thursday as a state holiday, companies will give you the Friday off, so you
The
can
real-
have a long weekend.
the real reason Roy thinks it's a paradise is because it's socialist and he's a dirty fucking commie.
I will cop to that.
I was totally gonna make your racist joke, and I decided it's too early.
It's too early.
It's too early to. It's wait. Hey, so what are our topics tonight? Because I decided them without talking to anybody. So.
Well,
Yeah,
we-
last minute
we're-
text.
we're going to be talking about how to prep for a tournament. We're going to be talking about what are this is according to Aaron, the metas and players to know, scare quotes here. And then we will be taking and talking about listener questions both from chat and from both of the Facebook threads, one in the Cool Kids Facebook group and the one in the general Facebook group as well. So
Cool Kids Facebook group is so full of dicks. We also got comments last week that we didn't talk enough shit. That's the whole reason for that second topic. It's like, I
Okay.
bet you we can talk shit about everyone.
well, we can talk shit about everyone. So
Oh, one
Yes,
more
Aaron.
thing. Sorry. A future topic, we've got to get Wama to stay up late for it though, and I don't know if he will. I want to do like heel promos against people from like our own metas. Like just
What
completely.
promos?
It's a wrestling thing, and Wama does a wrestling podcast on the side. If you didn't know,
Oh,
but like we're just gonna give like evil wrestling like bad guy speeches about our friends, and I feel like that's gonna make for amazing podcasting.
maybe we can do it sometime during the summer, Aaron, when you and I can record at a time that's better for our European friends.
Little SummerSlam. I like it.
Yeah, SummerSlam. There we go.
Hey, Luke's back. Lucas is back.
Hey, I'm back. Yeah.
All right.
Ballast point for all
All
your
right,
alcoholic
so-
needs.
Why don't we start off with the first topic today, which is going to be tournament prep. As some of you may know, if you were following in the Facebook group when Dennis was posting updates, I went to a tournament this past weekend. And the Dance Dragons, which I was also one of the co-organizers of, which I did pretty well at. I got into the top 8 before Dark Naj ran over me like a runaway freight train, which is what always happens when I play Dark Naj.
Like
tournaments-
a dark Nodge who's a humongous human being and could literally
Yes,
walk on you.
yes, he is a mountain of a man, one might say. And in order to prepare for this tournament, which is going to be one of the most competitive tournaments of the year in the Northeast, I mean, we had all the Boston people were there, the Brotherhood guys were there, old school New York was there. It was just a really, really competitive meta. Now, normally, I would do a lot of preparation for this tournament, but unlike most tournaments, it doesn't happen the week before my birthday when I'm spending most of the time in Philadelphia and unable to really practice. But I did do some really important tournament prep, which is, I think you guys can see in the video cast, I grew my beard out a lot, which I do think is the most important part of tournament preparation, as Joe asked in the chat. What do you guys think? What do you think about beards and tournament prep? Is that the first thing you do when you're thinking about a big event like Gen Con or a big regional or Kubla Khan, which is coming up soon, right? In California, it said.
If you are Sam Bratz, you cannot grow facial hair. But otherwise, you should grow out a beard right before a tournament.
Actually, Sam has a little bit more facial hair than Seth. Seth's the one I think can't
Yeah.
grow any facial hair.
Yeah, but Seth can't win a
Limbs.
tournament. So I thought we were talking about people who won tournaments, not people who just finished second.
Yeah, I love a beard for a tournament. Gives you something to kind of nervously scratch at and pull at, and not kind of mess with your cards too nervously. I'm not one of those like ultra shufflers with their cards while they're playing. It doesn't bother me at all, but I don't like kind of manhandling the cards at that brisk pace. I much prefer a little bit of a little beard stroke.
I do both. I do it drives Aaron crazy, the like loud noise, card shuffling plus the beard scratching. I also tickle my cards, as Dennis talked about on when he streamed my regional game. I will just run my arms above my cards.
I like masturbating under the table. I feel like it really throws off my opponents when I'm just jacking it right under the table.
Well, he only does that when he's playing really handsome players, is really things. So.
Like you.
Like me, yes.
If the opponent's too handsome, I lose the game because I've fallen asleep.
I mean, we are right now technically stealing a topic from Beers of Westeros, but Buzz, what do you do to prepare your beard for a tournament?
I have a barber, and so far, I haven't actually played a tournament in the last, I think, 1.5 years, and not gone to the barber for. Especially if there's a travel tournament where I will meet all my friends from different countries and stuff like that. So then you need to look good.
Totally reasonable.
All right, can we answer seriously how we prepare for tournaments? Because our next topic is going to be total bullshit.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So, SoCal,
ahead,
what do you do?
We play a lot of games. I'm in kind of a weird spot, so I don't get to play a lot of in-person games. I do most of my testing on Octagon with 3 or 4 California players that are kind of like my go-to testing partners. But most guys,
where are they? We want to know.
my kind of favorite testing partner has been Alex Esposito. He goes to Worlds every year like me. Like me, we usually end up with like 2 losses and like son of a bitch. But but you know we do well in regionals. We do well in store championships. He's a really good player. He's been playing. We've been playing together for almost 10 years. When we get closer to the big tournaments, though, we have some gatherings. So SoCal kind of chooses a spot. Usually it's in LA or San Diego, and we all get together for a day or 2 days and play a lot of games. That'll be like the build up to Worlds. We'll get together and kind of run through that gauntlet, like people like to kind of christen it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Ryan Jones's house is the preferred location.
I mean,
does Ryan have a really nice house?
It's not a nice house at all, but
it's really a shed.
But he's not gonna like that I said that. But he's got a really big basement, just huge. It's almost like Anne Frank would have preferred to have this basement. She would have been fine. There's so many kind of hidden passages and warrens deep within that you can just play and play and play and find new rooms every time you visit. It's a pretty cool like basement / bunker that you can just get really into the game. It's fun.
In one of those bunkers / dungeon torture rooms where John Wright came up with that morally reprehensible deck you guys played at Worlds this year?
John Wright came up with that deck while simultaneously cooking dinner. Just like, hold on, sure, I'll play a game on Octagon. Let me throw this deck together while I shove food in my face. And yeah, so that was just magic what he did there. But John Wright is a part of these sessions, yeah, and I look forward to hanging out with those guys this summer to gear up again.
Hey, go about it.
Hold on, Aaron. I think you're breaking up.
Oh, can't hear you.
Sorry. Can I make a point about Anne Frank?
Probably not, but I'm gonna. You probably shouldn't.
I just want to say her story is bullshit. All that miracle work, all that miracle worker shit. It's just not true. No way that happened.
It's possible.
Okay. How do you guys prepare in Sweden, Buzz? Before Aaron and I answer how we do it.
They ask me for desks.
No, no, not even close. So we're talking Stalic, right? The big
Sure.
tournaments, maybe a Road to Stalic or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Stalik, we're we don't play the best decks, I think, in Stockholm or in Sweden. We play decks that we enjoy, that are really really good in the end. But it's not like we don't do like the DC people, like this is the best deck, now let's all play it. So we all have our Greyjoy players, I'm the Lanny player, we have Targ players, etc. But we as a whole group, we discuss all of the decks, and so we will show up with maybe 6 or 7 or maybe 10 different decks over 15 people. And so yeah, we discuss the decks, we play them at the game nights, but we don't do gauntlets. We talk a lot more than we play, I think. Like, philosophize about and theorize and put in the 61st card just for the fuck of it and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think a big thing is that we talk a lot more than we gauntlet through the decks, yeah.
That is different. We
Uh,
good.
But we did a little bit different thing for Worlds with the Team Europe last year. We were me, LaPlante, James, and Bamford, and Jacob. We built
James who?
Wormsley?
Oh,
Wama?
he didn't go to Worlds. Though,
No,
right?
no, but he built decks with
Okay,
us.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And helped us optimize and stuff. So we were like, okay, what's the best decks gonna be? And we had 6 or 7 decks, and then we were like, okay, we're not gonna play these.
Yeah, your best deck was complete bullshit. Like you threw that together by accident and couldn't beat it.
What?
The Greyjoy
deck?
Wings.
Oh no, that wasn't thrown together. Oh my god, that
I know it was tweaked like crazy, but like the original
Yeah.
version was just something you were like, all right, I guess we should try this, and then like you couldn't beat it.
Yeah. It was that's a funny story actually. We have Björn. He's one of the most solid, cold-hearted, like real Viking kind of players, and it's really tough playing against him. But he only plays decks that he thinks are interesting, and like he wanted to play Greyjoy Dark Wings and tried for like 3 months to make something work. And then after a month or two, we started losing against him all the time. But we were like, okay, but it's Björn. Everyone loses to Björn all the time. There's a saying in Stockholm that he can win with a bag of gravel. It's a speech in Swedish.
Say it in Swedish.
Roughly translates, yeah.
Han kan vinna med en påse grus.
Hanken i mun passa grus? Not even close. Good.
Okay, so he can win with anything, so we didn't think much of it. But then, I mean, he just kept winning and winning and winning, and we're like, what does this deck do, really? I mean, it
Win.
plays Raiders and plays Plunder, and what is this card? Oh, I've not seen this card. And so, in the end, Jacob decided, because he couldn't win against my Baron Knights deck that I took, with any of his decks, basically. And so he was like, oh, but this Greyjoy Dark Wings is doing well, and he helped Björn optimize it, and then that's what he took in the end. But that's one of those things where we have one of these players who really, really, really wants to play Greyjoy and make it work. Everyone said that Greyjoy sucks now, and but he was like, oh well, then I'm gonna build Greyjoy. Kind of like Lucas now. I've seen he built. What's the army called? The strength-based or stealth army?
Rose Road Patrol.
Yeah. So you have a deck now for us.
I'm gonna
right?
take them right to the finish line. You guys don't
Yeah.
know how good that card is.
is that your Kubla Khan deck?
Maybe I'm working on a deck with it. After last week, and everyone just shot me down and said it was terrible. I've committed myself to proving everyone wrong, and stealthing past all of you eternally.
So anyway, for Worlds,
So fuck that card. Next.
It's
for
gonna
Worlds,
fuck you. You don't know. All right, go ahead.
we in the Team Europe players, you know, the guys who showed up at Worlds in pink shirts, we all built
They
together.
were very handsome shirts.
Yes. And we had a Google Drive document where we just threw up decks, like 20 decks or something that we all thought were good or could work with some tweaking. But I think in the end we played one or two of those decks. We all played different versions. Me and LaPlante played the same deck. Jacob just didn't play any of the decks we were thinking about and played the Greyjoy Dark Wings instead. And Bamford played his own deck, etc. But there was a lot of deck building, and you know, we took a deck, we ran it against matchups that we thought it was terrible against, and it didn't work. Okay, out the window all the time. Kind of like gauntleting, but a little bit, I guess, less structured. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Does this deck work? Okay, it loses 2 games. Nope.
Ever. 50 game, 50 and 2. Fuck that deck.
Yep. Has to win all the matches.
Yeah.
No, but I think there's a lot of different ways to make it work. I mean, the SoCal guys did really well, and they have their way. Jacob did really well, and we have our way of building, and DC has their way, and they did really well, of course, as well. Yeah.
I mean, for Worlds, we obviously didn't build, so I went there and took a deck that Dan and Dave and Aaron built and did it a complete injustice. But
Dave and John, Dan had almost nothing to do with the deck, and they keep giving me credit for that deck, but all I did was go, it can't lose to this, and add like 3 cards.
Anyway, but for Gen Con, we did something relatively similar. I mean, one of the great things about our little build group here in New York is that we have some of the best deck builders in the world. So we ran our own little gauntlet in the run-up to Gen Con, which was probably one of the more fun experiences of my life, which was sitting around and brainstorming deck ideas, sort of like around. Aaron had already gone back home, I think, at this point. But I think it was because you went home Saturday night, right, Aaron? Or were you there Saturday night?
I went home Saturday night. Are we talking about the Viserys deck?
Yes, the Viserys deck, where John and Dave. I mean, I don't know if any of you who know Dave Stroms have ever seen Dave Stroms drunk, but he's a very, very charming drunk. And so John.
In fairness, wait, time out. Roy thinks I'm a charming drunk, and I'm the biggest drunk asshole in the world. So Roy has no taste in drunk people.
That's true. But Dave was very charmingly drunk, and so was John, and so was Dan. And they got this hint from Alex Hines about there being possibly in Europe this broken Viserys attachment deck, which they then reverse engineered from I think 3 or 4 cards, and then Dave proceeded to win every single game he played against Dan and Darknage for I think the whole rest of the weekend, which is how we came up with Dennis's Troll deck, which, if any of you know from Gen Con, was a first edition card version of Viserys Targaryen, who reduced the amount of power you need to win the game based on the number of attachments on him. So the goal of the deck was, in the first or second turn, to get 15 attachments on this Viserys, so you just automatically won the game. Dennis almost made the cut. He actually outplayed himself. If he had just followed the deck's plan, he would have been in the cut. Those are the kind of experiences that we have do this.
Sandy flamed out with that deck because he ran into everyone in the world. The only thing that actually beat that was Roll by Decree, and like 7 people played Roll by Decree, and Sandy played 4 of them. It was fantastic.
Also, Sandy is the worst person. Like, about this, because you hand a deck.
Just say the worst person. It's fine.
No, he's not the worst person. But you hand Sandy a deck that the best deck builders in the world, they refined it. It could be the single greatest deck, the second coming of Christ in deck form, and he would still botch it. But then you see what happens, and he comes to a tournament with this half-baked idea of a deck that he barely understands second edition, and he
misses the cut
by strength of schedule. He beat the guy who got into the cut because he had a draw and 2 modified wins. Like, just based on strength of schedule, Sandy finished 4-2, which was very respectable in a tough field. Like, Sandy is a weird player. He doesn't play well with other people's decks. He plays
That's
better
not
when he
true
has...
at all. His
At least
decks
the
are
second edition.
terrible. Okay, that's 100% not true. Sandy flamed out at Red Saturday with his own deck. He's flamed out at like every other tournament but this one with his own deck.
Did he play his own deck every Red Saturday?
Yeah, he wouldn't. He refused to play anyone else's deck. He had this terrible deck. Like he made the cut at Pattaya with one of my decks. He made the cut, or he almost made the cut at Stalik with a deck that like 3 other people made. In first edition, he was only ever at all good with playing other people's decks.
Okay.
It's just second
So-
edition has like 12 cards, so you only have so many choices.
I forgot Sandy was like our world traveler. He needs to be better because if you're gonna go to all these tournaments in Europe, you gotta
Dude.
represent.
He made the cut at Pattaya. He took me to what the fuck? Where did I meet you, Buzz? England. What's the tournament called?
Blackwater.
Blackwater. He took me to Blackwater. I made the cut there, and if fucking Heron wasn't incredible, I would have went further. Like Heron is so good.
I beat
yeah,
Heron.
in the luckiest game in human history, and he beat me because he top decks like a motherfucker. But like,
Yeah, but the Europeans come to Worlds and just wreck shop and win. We
don't-
need to, reciprocate that and get over there and just wreck some shop.
Well, what I tried to convince Sandy to do that is if his startup gets bought for several $1 million, he should create a American Thrones endowment, which is
Oh.
that he flies American Thrones players out to Road to Stalik events for them to win them, then qualify and be able to go to Stalik, and so that they can parade around the European Championship like our excellent European friends.
Right,
do,
that's
yes.
not how that actually fucking works. Like,
I know.
Rabs is like good, but like he's a mid-level Spanish player. Rabs is better than like 80% of the American players I know.
I don't doubt that. The
Well,
Europeans are the
like-
best
like,
Thrones
we're not-
players
we're
that I've ever met.
We're not going to Europe and suddenly taking down like Pattaya. That shit's not happening. Like, it's just not. Like, sorry, get over that shit idea. Yeah, if you don't think Europeans are better at Thrones, you haven't played enough Europeans. Like some of the very best Americans are as good as the best Europeans.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
not-
As
not
a European, I mean the SoCal meta in general and the DC meta and some other individuals can play against the
That's our-
Europeans.
That's right.
That's
That's
our
right.
That's our second subject. So we'll get
Yeah,
we'll
okay,
get to that.
okay.
But yeah, so I think like big tournament deck building is all about tweaking.
Mhm.
Like, there's a lot of really good decks that could win any given tournament. Like we spend so much fucking time in New York looking for the deck, and I feel like that's a lot of what everyone's been saying. Like you're looking for the deck, but the deck is the deck that you tweaked right. It's the deck that you chose to focus on, knew all the matchups for, and knew how to play the best.
And I think Buzz's point about what deck people are comfortable with is also really important because sometimes you can find the deck and not every player in your build group is going to be 100% comfortable with it. And matching people with really good, efficient, tournament-ready decks that fit their playstyle and way of approaching the game is as much a part of this tournament prep as possible. Just taking Lanny Jumper, I mean, Patrick made this point to me at Dance, which is that he took Sid's Jumper deck
Hey.
to...
Why are we getting background shit? Someone have a fan on, Roy?
No.
Is that good?
Yes.
Is that better?
Roy's
Okay.
fan makes us go.
Yes, it gets very hot in
just
my...
just
apartment.
strip. It's not like we're doing a video cast.
It's not like we're doing a video cast. No, I can't do it naked like I do the White Book. But don't tell Will. My point was... Oh, yes. So Patrick took Sid's Jumper deck to the Indie Regional and just didn't do all that well because it wasn't a deck that fit Patrick's style, even though Patrick is a really good player. And so finding the deck that's not only really good and efficient and has solid matchups in the meta, but also one that fits your play style is also as important as running a gauntlet or having an efficient deck. And Buzz's example with Jakob is that Jakob played a deck that he was comfortable with, he thought was fun, and he understood the matchups and how to play it. Even if you wouldn't in the abstract say that Greyjoy, Dark Wings, Dark Words was the platonic ideal of the best possible deck.
Yeah,
At
but
the end,
Jakob was the best. Jakob was the best player at Worlds who actually played to the end of the tournament. Like the person who played through the cut, he was probably the best player at Worlds. Arguments?
I don't
well-
understand what you mean, but
Like I like
Well,
Jakob
here's
might
what
not
he's
have
saying.
been
I
playing
think I
the
know what
best
he's saying.
deck, but he's probably the best player. That helps. He's basically the best player who's not named Corey.
He's saying that there is no like MFEO deck, right? There's no one deck that we're all like looking for. There's no destiny. There's no fate. No one's meant for each other. Like in life, as in Thrones. I'm gonna wax poetic here. There's no one deck to take you to victory, but there are many decks that you can aspire to achieve that oh so wonderful goal. I mean, there is no one deck. I think we can agree that so many big tournaments have been won by just great decks with great players at the helm, and people are surprised by them. And that happens time and again at Gen Con and Worlds. There's no one deck, and there's no one person. Remember that, kids. Love the one you're with, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So we have dating advice. Well, this is an all-service podcast. We have dating, marriage advice, beard advice, all the things you get from your other Thrones podcasts and other lifestyle podcasts you get from Second Sons.
And you get to look into Buzz's beautiful eyes.
It's true.
As he looks right up at the camera. Hey.
I mean, yeah. Obviously, there's probably, at some point, there are occasionally just straight-out broken decks.
Are there though? Because I don't believe that for anything.
In the first edition, there was, of course, right?
One or two, not many. I mean, like like Maesters before they got eroded and Wildlings.
Yeah.
But like they were much rarer than people thought. Like a deck would get good, and instead of people meting against it, everyone go restrict shit, and like that kind of shit always pissed me off because like a lot of really good decks got broken up that weren't unbeatable. People just didn't want to have to think and play answers, and I don't want second edition to become that.
All right, Aaron, name names. What's a deck that you think people was unfairly restricted and broken up?
Barra Hollow Hill. It was a really good deck, but it was by no means unbeatable. Like, even Slight Rush tended to roll that shit.
Like Siege?
Yeah. Siege completely annihilated it. So did a lot of the other control options of the time. It was really good against Targ. It was really good against Greyjoy, and that's what people like to play. So everyone's like, it's unbeatable, but it really never was. That's always my first thought. I feel like Targ Hollow Hill got nerfed into complete fucking oblivion for no goddamn reason. Like once the initial round of restrictions hit House of Pain, they were like, well, let's restrict everything else too. And it was just like, I think we could have just meted against that.
The last axe that's killed Macers. I mean,
the Tin Link?
No,
not the Tin Link. The
Draw
Link.
Valerian Steel Link.
Yeah. And some Maester and the agenda, and I mean, you restricted the whole thing. So, like, it was just why?
But I hate because people don't it's the Lannister problem in second edition for people that actually play second edition and give a shit. It's the Lannister problem in second edition. It's A, Lannister is entirely beatable. B, it's really good and you have to think and work hard to get there. And you have to play specific things, which shapes the meta. And you go, I don't want to have to play that. I want to play my shitty deck, Joe from Cincinnati. And then,
oh God,
and
poor
then,
Joe.
and then we end up with restrictions. And it's not Joe from Cincinnati. It's literally like 50 fucking people. But it's just completely obnoxious. Can I have the chat link, by the way, somebody?
Oh yeah, I can. I'll put it in the Skype link. I think that's true. I mean, it's clear though at least by the time I started playing that the design team.
No, that's the stream. I want the chat.
Oh.
The chat pop out. Otherwise, we're going to get background noise of me watching the stream.
Oh, okay.
Can mute the stream, but okay.
Yeah, don't act all fancy. All right, keep going.
Pop out. Hold on. I got it. Oh, that's so fancy. I've never actually done this before. Ooh, I feel like I'm learning. Here you go, Aaron.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. Now I don't need the stream open. All right. So what was my point before I got lost in this Twitch rabbit hole?
Ooh, a nice streamer. Ooh, a girl streamer. Ooh.
What?
So bad.
It was clear that the design team, Nate, by the end of first edition, was just mostly interested in making sure that the same deck didn't win twice. So, I mean, that's why the DC Maesters build was broken apart. That's why Dragon Pit was broken apart. for Worlds was that the Worlds meta would be different than the Gen Con meta. And
Yeah, but
By-
like if people
the
were
time-
good, the world's meta wouldn't be the same as the Gen Con meta because people would build shit that beat those other decks.
I mean, I agree with you, Aaron, but I think that that's something that by the size of the card pool in 1.0, the space to just do that was a little. I don't think it was as easy. I mean, we saw with the boats, right? Did you think boats shouldn't have been restricted, or
Oh,
the
no.
changes shouldn't have made the
No,
boats?
both should have been restricted not because it was unbeatable, because it was the most boring fucking thing on earth to play against.
And
Or
play.
play.
And
Or
play.
play.
do.
Yeah, really.
Like I saw
For
you after.
for an entire season of me going, can someone fucking knock me out already so I can go drink? Yeah.
Yeah, but or you like being a zombie for a whole ride back because of a whole day of playing the boats deck in the DC.
I played Bloodthirst for a whole season too.
But I mean, I see that, but at the same time, when the card pool gets as big as it was in First Opponent, it's harder to say just tech against it, just change the meta, because some decks are just so efficient that if you don't break them apart with restrictions, it's going to be really hard to successfully tech against them.
Sure, but give the meta time to evolve instead of just going, nope, it's broken.
That I will agree with. I think the new season structure makes that easier, but we'll see what happens.
Summer and winter?
Yeah, it's spread out. Like the Store Championship season is well before Gen Con and Worlds and the regional season. Once everything's into play, there'll be some space to sort of see, do we actually need restrictions? Do we actually need these things as the card pool gets larger?
So, I think we beat this subject to death. Want to take listener questions?
Or are we going to do what meta first?
Let's do
or
listener
want
questions first.
All right, listener questions. The first one comes
Make people
from
wait for the shit talk.
Dennis Harrison, which is how
Oh.
many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll Pop?
For Roy, infinity, because I bet you they use some kind of animal fat in that, and he won't eat it.
What's a
Like
Tootsie Roll,
the
by the way?
owl. Oh my gosh, Buzz, please.
What's a
Do the
Tootsie Roll?
cultural
I'm gonna
thing.
Google
You embarrass
Tootsie
yourself.
Roll.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
What
Sid,
the
while he's
hell?
Googling, you tell us your answer.
I walk the path of the owl. You always crunch it. You always eat it. You never get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. No one's got that kind of time. Ever.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right. It's like 40 licks and you're crunching. No matter how many teeth get cracked, you just crunch to the bottom and you throw that stick away. Who gets to the actual like bottom of a Tootsie Pop? No one. No one's ever done it.
The owl is wise.
The owl is wise. 1, 2, 3, crunch.
I don't even make it to 3.
where's the
it's
lip
often
eye?
like 1, you know what I want right now? Some crunch.
That's right. Crunch it.
Crunch it. Ruin my teeth.
But
I want to.
Buzz, really, man. Stick
Is
it
it
we
to
gotta-
the-
like
We gotta get together. It's a lollipop. It's a fucking lollipop.
yeah.
It's the best lollipop.
It
With
is not the best.
Tootsie,
It's
Tootsie
the
in
best
the center.
lollipop.
It's
It
got
is the
Tootsie.
best lollipop. The best commercially available lollipop. Name one that's not this boutique lollipop world that Aaron lives in. That you can just go down to your local CVS,
Blow
Dwayne
pop.
Reed.
Blow pop. I was gonna say in my youth, the blow pop.
Yeah, the blow pop was better than the Tootsie Roll Pop. Tootsie Pop.
Boo! 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 Boo!
You're such a hipster, Roy.
How am I a hipster? You guys are the hipsters.
I mean, you got a sucker and bubblegum. It's pretty great.
I'm typing in the chat, by the way. I decided my computer sucks, so I'm gonna do it this way.
And I'm not even sure what Tootsie is. It's kind of like chocolate, but it certainly doesn't taste like chocolate. It's brown, that's for sure. But
Oh, I can't send. 'cause
but
I'm not
other than that, I can't really claim to know the flavor of Tootsie. It's sugar and it's brown.
We should send both to Buzz. Like, just make a care package to Sweden and let him
All the
decide for
Tootsie,
us.
all the Tootsie products. You have the little tiny ones, the long skinny ones that look like a cigarette. You got the logs that are like separated into sections, and you got the pop. You got all the Tootsie pantheon. Let's do it. Let's send it to him.
Okay.
So he knows.
So, Buzz, what's your answer?
Buzz doesn't know what these are.
What was the question?
If it was a lollipop, just crunch through it. You can't suck it in.
Good answer.
Takes too long.
Next.
Okay.
The next question.
Lance
Dennis, you troll.
Kurtzinger says, "What?" I think I apologize if I mispronounce your name.
Well, Lance, he's California. Yeah.
Why is Aaron always quick to be angry?
Because I have to talk to you assholes.
Okay, next question.
Okay, he also asks, who of you will be attending KublaCon this month, and what kind of decks do you expect to see? So this is more of a
just
Sid directed
me.
question.
Yeah, so KublaCon is the big California tournament. All of my wife's messing with me. All of Southern California and Northern California shows up. Central California, and we get people like
Whoa!
I know Central as well. And insane. Hey, 1 in 8 people in America live in California. It's kind of a big
But
deal.
who lives in
okay?
Central California?
Wait,
I-
the state
A
is
lot
bigger
of
than
people.
Sweden.
I've never like known anyone. I've known lots of people from Southern California and lots of people from Northern California, but I've never seen someone who identifies as being from Central California.
Yeah. It's the like San Luis Obispo, the Pismo Beach, the Fresnos of the world. They're
Ugh,
rare.
Fresno.
Lucas
But
is
you
just,
do
Lucas
find
is just
them.
making up places like they fucking exist. He's like, I'm just
These
gonna
are
say
amazing
letters.
locations. So
All right,
California's
so what are you
big.
playing?
I know you guys don't know.
Wait, what
but
are you
it's
playing?
big.
What Rose Road Patrol deck are you playing?
Oh my gosh, I am totally building the Rose Road Patrol deck. Buzz
I'm
and I
playing
were
it.
just
I'm
talking
playing
about
it tomorrow.
I dare you.
Oh,
Play it-
are you
play it at
officially gonna
Kubla.
play that deck tomorrow?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Done.
Yeah, I do have a deck that runs Rose Road Patrol, and he will always be turned on. He will always be stealthy, and he
Yeah,
will
he's
always
gonna be
be your
turned on.
friend. Oh, he'll be so good. It'll be so epic, and Buzz will win with it. I promise you that.
Wait, are you?
So
Wait, no. Fuck Buzz. Are you taking it to Kubla?
maybe I'm gonna see what Buzz
maybe
does with
you
tomorrow.
don't be fucking weak. Maybe you swore by that card. Be brave.
Buzz
Take
is my
own
guinea
it.
pig. He's gonna play it in a regional now, and then I'll see if I can play it at the Kubla Cup. But yeah, I actually am leaning towards the deck that plays Rose Road Patrol only because you jerks just didn't want to believe that it could be a good card. But stealth, a Tyrell card with stealth. This is unprecedented. It's gonna be good.
There's no
Um,
way for Trell to get
With a
stealth
terrible
at
contingent.
all.
It can be good.
All right, we're not having this fight again.
So there's that deck, and then I'm also working on a deck that I mean, like everyone right now, that kind of really uses Miri Mazdur to her best potential. I've got a deck that I'm trying to do that with, which I know just kind of one Dance with Dragons, a deck that does something similar. So it's not new, but it's out of maybe a different house, a house people wouldn't expect it to be out of. So maybe that's
Stark?
something. No, boo. Not Stark. The house that everyone says is terrible and no one wants to play.
Terrell.
No. Oh yeah, Tyrell. You got it. Tyrell. I thought you said Martel. My bad. I'm like,
Okay.
But he's,
No,
he's in,
no,
he's in
you're-
SoCal.
We
That's
know who's
like-
playing Martel.
they love
It's
Martel out there.
No,
It's so
one
sunny.
person lo-
we do. We
one
do love
person loves Martel and SoCal, and we know who's playing Martel. Hi, Johnny.
No, Johnny didn't even play Martel at Kingdom Con, and I think he regretted it because the winner of Kingdom Con was playing Martel.
Wait,
Did,
we
he-
need
did,
a-
did it shatter his heart a little bit? Like, did you look at him
No.
after the finals?
Seeing
and
as
his-
he made it to the final table, like the final match, and he lost to Martel, I think he realized
Oh man, we
the
need a new,
irony of it. Yeah.
we need a new Martel player. Like he was my Martel Joe from Cincinnati. Like this is terrible.
He's
Like,
still
he-
Martel. He's still Martel.
No,
just
he's not.
got
No,
lucky.
he's fucking not. You
He
don't
got
know.
scared. He got
Alvaro
scared.
doesn't show up playing fucking Brathian. Johnny shouldn't show up playing something else. Like that's bullshit.
Wait. He
Fuck him.
designed the Lannister Wheels Within Wheels deck. Lannister was his first edition.
Yeah, but guess what? It's a new
Thing.
edition, and he was Mr. Martel, and now he's not. We need a new Mr. Martel. Send in
Fair
your
enough.
fucking applications. We'll put you on the podcast. There's like 50.
Johnny will be the first one to turn in his application. But yeah, KublaCon
It's
is our
rejected.
big
It's
turn-
over. If you played another deck in second edition, you can't. If you only play Martel, it can be your deck.
Back
I
to
love it.
KublaCon. KublaCon is the best thing in California. California players, if you're listening, you better come. It's always big. It's always got the best players in the West there. We also get Matt Lay every single year, flies out for KublaCon. I mean, like 10 years in a row now, Matt Lay is there. And if you haven't partied and played Thrones with Matt Lay, then you're not really enjoying this game to its fullest at this point.
Rings is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's referred
yeah,
to as
Rings for those who
I
only
don't-
know
I
him
don't-
by his stage name.
his actual name. Yeah, Rings. Like this isn't real life. We don't need like his banker identity.
Trey wants to know: is Cameron D Mr. Stark?
No,
and
LaPlante
Little
is.
Stark is LaPlante.
Wait, LaPlante is Stark in second edition?
He has played Stark and Baratheon.
No, if he played another house, it doesn't matter.
No, Stark and Baratheon exclusively since forever. But Stark is his house. He also plays Baratheon, but Stark is his house.
Oh,
Especially
guys,
in melee. Only
I just
in
got a
melee.
live message from John Wright. He's listening apparently,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's hurt.
Sandshaker, isn't he?
You hurt him. You hurt him, Aaron. He's hurt.
He should be hurt. He hurt himself by playing some
He's
other
hurt.
house.
Well, he should feel. Look, John, if you're listening, Aaron also compared you to Avaro in the same sentence in which he was insulting you.
I mean, I also
So at
compared
least
to Joe
by-
from Cincinnati,
by
so
the
we're all over the
principle
spectrum.
of being next to each other in the same sentence, you and Alvaro are similar level players.
No,
That's
they're
what Aaron was
not.
trying
Because,
to say there.
no, they're not because Alvaro knows better than to show up with Baratheon.
All right.
Shit, I'm so disappointed. My nature.
Okay. Next question. Let's see.
Oh, by the way, wait. The Kubla meta is going to be all Lannister, so that you all.
No, it won't. It won't. I guarantee
up.
it won't.
It will be. Oh.
It will not. But go ahead.
All right. So Dennis, going back to Dennis real quick. He wants to know how big does the card pool have to be before draft can be introduced in a meaningful way? As a follow-up, do you think FFG will actually do draft for 2.0?
It's
could probably be
already
done now.
draftable, right?
Yeah,
With
like,
with the rules from Greg.
from
Yeah,
the
Greg?
White Book
No, from Greg.
of the White Book.
I've never heard him on the White Book because I don't listen.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, you can totally draft. I think you can draft right now. When this cycle's over, you can do it. I don't think FFG will, though. I think they'll wait until maybe next year at Gen Con or Worlds. They'll introduce draft, and we'll all just love it and move forward.
Do any of the other games have draft?
Yeah, Netrunner.
I don't fucking know. I don't play other games. I'm just asking. Yeah, Netrunner.
Yeah,
fuck
I mean,
fuck you and your
Netrunner.
Android game. All right. Yeah. No, I think it's gonna come. Thrones is too big, and draft is too much of a moneymaker. Like, I don't fucking know when. FFG has no business sense. So it could be like next week, and I'd be like, oh yeah, FFG released with no promotion, or it could be like 2 years and perfect.
I think next Worlds, right? This Worlds is going to be packed, Star Wars and everything. They're freaking out. It's going to be just a hellstorm. But next year, 2017, is just going to be like the Thrones Worlds, and I think we get draft, and it'll be awesome. I can't wait. Draft is almost as good in my mind as the regular game. I love it.
Draft is a lot of fun.
I hate draft.
What?
I like.
Aaron
I
hates
like
everything but constructed
Dude,
joust.
yeah, I like.
How do you
building
hate
decks.
draft?
I like.
I
building
love
decks.
drafts. I love it, but I suck so much at it. I'm so terrible.
And how do you love it?
I'm
I thought
actually
you
with
were
Andreas
seeing-
here. I love it too, but I'm fucking terrible at it.
Yeah,
Draft
whatever.
is the deck builder's just wet dream. We love it. I mean, it's someone who
That's
likes
not
to throw
true.
decks
I
together.
love deck building.
I hate deck building.
Maybe you're actually bad at it though, and that could be the truth.
Sure.
Yeah, like you said,
that's the trick.
Well, there's
you're a
there's
good
difference.
tweaker. Like you're a tweaker. Can we
also deck builder.
use that
No,
title?
that's
I
not.
think-
I don't know. I think that there's a big difference between
Oh
having.
fuck!
Whoa,
Who's here?
who's
What
this?
the fuck?
He's been
It's
here
my
for a
opinion.
while.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
I
even
came in here, like,
realize.
a couple minutes ago. Sorry, y'all.
Hi.
My bad. I can get off. That's cool.
You're gonna get off on camera? That's really awkward.
Well,
Mm.
That's
that-
don't get buzz banned from Twitch. Come on.
That gets you banned. I just assumed.
Are we
it
being
was-
watched? Is someone
I mean,
monitored?
we're being
7, I
watched by
think.
Handshaker.
10,
Oh,
11.
that's totally Johnny Wright. I'm gonna call
I
him
know.
out right now.
That's John
That's
Wright,
John
yeah.
Wright. Yeah.
Go ahead, Luke. Sorry
Luke,
about that.
As you were saying,
Oh, I was
the
gonna
less
say it's just like
the lesser
it's just-
Luke. Go ahead.
yeah. Well, yes. I mean, that's obvious. Less hair, less beard. Less.
The beard's
success
coming in
with
well
decks.
though.
I told you,
More
it's
more
going well.
editing power.
A lot of editing. Yeah, there's that, and a lot of Spanish power. But no, there's a huge difference between building a deck with all of the cards as opposed to like making tough choices with a pod right in front of you. That's just the difference.
Dude, I
But
don't
you're a
know if
former
I'm gonna
CCG
draft
player.
that Pilsner.
Shouldn't all former CCG players love draft? Like, isn't
I
that?
do. I do
like,
love draft.
before-
I do love
There
draft.
we go.
Yeah.
I mean,
There we go.
it's not
Booster
that I
packs,
can't do
man.
draft. It's that I don't care to learn the card pool or figure things out. It's just like I could be playing Joust, and that's all I want to be doing: Joust and drinking and singing, and like those are my 3 hobbies. I don't have time for like figuring
Draft
out
is so
another
perfect
pool.
for drinking and singing.
But Aaron is playing Melee at Gen Con this year. right?
Unless Daryl does. There's a rule.
Oh, that's right. We got to make
Oh, I
Daryl do it.
remember.
Okay, we'll get Daryl.
Luke, do you have a fan going?
Do I?
Do you have
Luke,
a
you have
fan
back-
or
you have
something?
background noise.
Background
Luke.
noise, like.
I
no.
swear to God, my fan is off.
Someone
Alright.
sounds like a DC-10 is like
It-
warming
it-
up
it-
in their
It's
backyard.
Luke. It's always Luke. Luke's the
Oh.
worst.
my fiance's in the shower.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
we have a question. I've been saving this question because Luke's here now. So Luke wants to know, which horse do you think will win the Kentucky Derby? Place, show. I'm looking. What are you looking to? You're looking to solidify your betting for Saturday.
Oh, I can answer that.
Okay.
Luke's mom. Luke's mom's gonna win the Kentucky Derby.
Oh,
It's some kind of horse race or what's?
Yeah, it's a
yes,
horse.
it is a horse race. Good job.
Okay, okay.
It's the horse race.
Hey, the noise is not terrible on stream, according to Trey Alsop.
Trey, who is a big listener, by the way, of Beyond the White Book content. So hi, Trey. He's always
Yeah,
commenting.
Right?
I don't
Yeah.
trust him. It sounds
Hey,
awful. It
there's
sounds
a,
awful.
Hey, there's a horse. There's a horse called Lanny.
There we
Oh,
go.
bet-
That's the
betting
horse
him.
that's going to win. Aaron, that's Aaron's bet. So I'm going to go place a bet in Aaron's name.
Can never
no,
bet
not in
against
Aaron. In
Ramsey.
Noah's name. So if it does win, it goes to Noah, not to Aaron. And
No one needs money. Daddy. needs
So,
money.
does anyone on this cast like truly watch the Derby and like enjoy the competition?
Oh shit! Right after a tournament last year, the Derby happened,
Me.
and I fucking started yelling at people at the bar for being hillbillies. And then like
that was
three of
the
our-
regional last year.
yeah,
That
like
was a
three
great.
of our players were like, "My family has horses." I'm like, God, you're a fucking hillbilly.
Yeah, out west, no one
Wow.
cares. We don't care. I can
I
can
don't-
say with 100%
Haven't-
certainty,
I-
no one out
Do you
here
un-
cares.
Kaiser
having
was
a
there.
hor-
That was great.
Yeah, Kaiser
Having a
was one of the horse
racehorse-
hillbillies.
Having a racehorse is not even close to being a hillbilly. It's like the exact opposite of the hillbilly. Like that's like a very aristocratic thing to have as a
You don't
racehorse.
you don't understand
yeah,
how
but
America.
Aaron,
You're like the
Aaron.
aristocrat
No,
of
no.
the hillbillies. Like
I
Here's
will,
how
I
it
will
goes.
play, I will play
Hillbilly.
my historian card. Luke is exactly correct. Owning a
You're-
racing horse is a
you're
sign
both
of class
full of
privilege
shit.
in the South and
no.
Midwest.
Here's how America works. There's America, which is New York up to Boston, and then there's Florida, which has Disney and swamps and shit. Then
And
there's Texas, where everyone has guns, and there's California, where I guess they smoke a lot of pot. And then
Everyone's
everything else
awesome
is
and happy.
hillbillies.
Yeah.
Everyone else. I mean, Chicago.
God.
Chicago doesn't know pizza, so they're almost civilized, but they're still hillbillies.
They're
No,
basically Canadians, right?
Chicago is like hillbillies with shelter. You know, like they have infrastructure over their
Okay,
hillbilly
yeah.
nation.
Again,
Exactly.
again,
all I'm saying,
any
all I'm saying is
European
that
who's listening to this, this is America right here, by the way. Just to make
Yeah.
be 100% clear. Like,
New York,
when you come to the United
California,
States,
hillbillies.
California, hillbillies, East Coast industrial complex,
Yeah.
Chicago, which is basically Canada. There we go. That's it.
And Texas,
Wow.
which is basically guns. Texas is its
Oh,
own
yes,
little
guns.
place. They definitely
that's-
exist.
that's
I'm
what he's
scared
saying.
of them.
Again, this framework created by Aaron, who born and raised in the Bronx, and now lives how many
10,
miles
15
from the city limits of
about-
New York?
17-ish.
So just let's provide the perspective here of Aaron.
Roy,
Such
don't
a-
be
I'm
sad.
so
sheltered
I'm
life.
so hurt.
It's-
I'm so hurt.
You should be hillbilly.
You watch
I'm so
horse
hurt.
flesh race. Come on.
Seriously, you're watching tortured animals run in fucking circles for your entertainment.
Yeah.
You're a hillbilly. That's it. We're done
Wow.
with
If you think that they're tortured, you clearly have never been to a racehorse farm.
that. No, I haven't. I'm not a fucking hillbilly. Why is that?
Right, that's right.
Luke-
You even told me like when I first offered to be a copy editor for the White Book, you were like, I don't think I've ever met anybody from Kentucky.
I just assumed it was a fake place for rednecks.
It just doesn't. It's not real. It's only the butt of the joke, and then you just add the addendum "ucky" to anything, and it becomes a hillbilly state.
I mean,
Right.
I mean, Aaron, you would hate Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky alcohol is done on a county by county basis. It's got the largest number of dry counties in the country.
There's
Uh,
There's such a thing as a fucking dry county.
Yes,
Isn't that just hell?
yes. That's one of the reasons why
imagine.
people leave Kentucky is that it has dry counties. My uncle, who's from Kentucky, used to make money by smuggling alcohol
Bro,
from
you're such a stupid
non-dry
he was,
counties.
a, he, was a,
Amazing.
he was a bootlegger.
A
Yeah, he was
bootlegger,
bootleg.
yeah. Moonshine bootlegger.
Bootlegging is, in fairness, awesome. But on print, like on
So that's how one of the ways he which he
Thanks.
paid for college at the University of Kentucky was he would take booze back home and sell it.
Yeah, Luke, are you a big fan of bluegrass music?
You couldn't have said that any more condescendingly.
I actually like bluegrass. I'm not
I-
completely crapping on it. I do enjoy a good
Hoedown?
bluegrass fiddle player. Yeah. No, bluegrass is very different from like the hoedown. Very different.
This is this is Aaron at his most New York. By the way,
I
I
know.
want to
He doesn't
I
get
want-
it. He's,
I
yeah.
want to apologize to all the Europeans out there. Like the look on Buzz's face right now is priceless. Like he's like,
What
what
the
the fuck
fuck
are
are
these
they?
Americans talking
Listen,
about?
I love that-
if you live in New York, you have like one perspective.
Wait.
It's
No,
the
no,
New York
wait,
state
wait.
of mind,
No,
right?
I can-
but
I
if
can
you're
make Buzz
in
relate.
California, we
Hey,
have
hey! I hear New York
all-
is waiting for you.
We are
okay? That's what I
Legion.
hear.
New York
Wait, no,
is what?
I can
Waiting
make
for
Buzz understand. Buzz, you know how you're from like real Sweden and people like Ingmar are from some hillbilly other
Yeah,
part,
yeah.
part area?
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly like
Yeah,
that.
I can explain Swedish geography. As a Stockholmer, I'm from Stockholm. It is the big metropolic area of 1 million people, and then everyone else are hillbillies. If you go 10 kilometers outside of Stockholm,
I like Buzz.
you're gone. You're a nobody. Yeah, you don't have an
See?
education. You're inbred fucks, stuff like that.
All right. All right. On that note,
We need to
Oh,
move
oh,
on
wait,
now.
wait, all cultures came together. If you don't live in the metropolitan center in the U.S. context, that means New York, or
the problem
California,
with
or in the
all cultures
Swedish
coming together-
context, Stockholm. You are just an inbred fuck. Let's just all agree there.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
the
Luke.
problem. They all
Okay.
came together.
Anyway, not here nor there.
No.
Shh, shh. Let's move on. It's settled. We all decided international agreement. All right.
No.
So MT Edelman asks us, based on recent tournament attendance, where do you guys see the tournament scene heading? What do you guys see for Fantasy Flight's role? And are they helping or hindering the growth of Game of Thrones organized play? Should organizers hitch their sails to FFG or go unsanctioned? And in particular for Buzz, what's the international perspective on this? Because Buzz's perspective, with the Stalic Corps is quite different than ours here in the U.S.
Buzz wasn't listening.
So what did he say? No,
Oh,
no, but I don't quite get what he means. Like, does he think that FFG is like kind of killing the
Fucking up.
scene?
That's basic. Yeah, that's what he's basically asking. Do you think they are?
What?
I would guess. This is me reading in, and I apologize if this isn't
okay.
your intention.
So I guess I mean, I don't like some of the stuff that FFG do, especially the tournament structuring, like top 8, 13 player tournaments. Like, what? Why? But I mean, we don't have to follow FFG rules. We never do in Stockholm. Don't tell FFG.
You're not listening to this shit.
No. But I mean,
We always do in New York.
Yeah, no, we don't. Like, we don't at all.
No, but where would
Aaron's
we,
wrong.
where would we be without the prize support, the kits and stuff? Yes, we do a lot of stuff for like Road to Stalic and extra prizes for regionals. Still, I mean, in the end, we're all competing for a card design. In the end, I mean, I wouldn't play tournaments if I weren't competing for a card design in the end, or prestige in some way. So I think FFG is fucking up by not having anything in Europe this year. They're not supporting Stalic. They don't have their own stuff until next year.
Is that official that they're not supporting
yes.
Stalic from Wolfgang?
Yes.
Oof.
oh.
Well, that was official from Eileen. I mean, a long time ago.
Boo.
I mean, I have a kind of American perspective too, and this is relevant to KublaCon coming up. FFG stopped supporting KublaCon last year, and for a decade we had almost full FFG support, and the rules seem very arbitrary. Why they won't kind of support some cons and will support others. So we end up with a community-run tournament, which is fine. I think everyone who comes is happy.
Look over your shoulder.
No, I know she's there. I choose to ignore her. She's trying to steal this whole thing.
She is stealing the whole
She
thing.
is working.
I know.
Just
I
tell her
understand.
she's.
Let's cover her up.
Trey Alsop just compared her to Anne Frank. So you should know.
Oh, she
Well,
is.
hello.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
God.
had
did
we-
not-
had
I
we
did not
been in
know she
Ryan's
was-
basement, she would have made it. But
I didn't know
anyways,
she was deaf, dumb, and blind.
they
I had
don't.
no idea.
They
Oh my
don't
God.
support conventions, I think, on any level now, except for the ones that they directly run, and it hurts things on some level because KublaCon, which is this huge tournament, we're going to have anywhere between, not as big as the European kind of one-offs that have over 100, but we'll probably have 75 around their players at KublaCon, which is a decent-sized tournament. It's going to far outweigh any regional, and yet that's not deemed worthy of regional status. It definitely rubs us the wrong way. But it's fine because we'll just run it with our community, which is really strong here. But I do wonder why FFG feels it's not a good idea to support things like Stalik and
I
big
can
tournaments
answer.
that have been around for a long time.
I can answer.
Go ahead,
That's
answer.
So,
Tell
it's
me
so
why.
fucking easy. FFG OP are the stupidest fucking people on earth. There's no
They seem
other
to be like a
solid
revolving
answer.
door, though. That's for sure.
Just
Can I
no,
offer
they just
the,
make consistently terrible decisions. New York didn't get a region. Like they're just like, hey, we've got like these really supportive people. Let's shit on them so they stop playing. Maybe the people that support us will just go away if we shit on them enough. They're terrible. Like I don't get them. They're the
Can I
only
offer
part
the
of FFG I don't like.
I
Go ahead.
the problem.
The hillbilly
I think-
perspective.
Hillbilly perspective.
Go ahead, Luke. Before
So-
I talk.
Like in the hillbilly nation, which is everywhere that's not New York, Chicago, or Southern California, apparently.
As established.
Right.
Luke, I hate your background noise.
Yeah. It's louder and louder.
It's
Go
definitely
ahead.
him, right? Because he's our
Yeah.
newest member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah,
see.
so-
Hold on.
All right, Roy,
it's,
talk
it's
while
like
he
a
fixes shit.
helicopter.
Okay, well,
is
Luke,
landing
when
on your
Luke
house.
dies,
That's
the
what's happening.
747 is about to collide with his
Oh,
house.
puppy.
Is it
Um,
still? Is it still there?
Wait,
Yeah,
did I just hear
Yeah.
a girl's voice go, "Oh, puppies"?
The thing is, like,
Could have been.
I wouldn't have a problem with FFG's policy of not supporting fan-run tournaments or community-run tournaments if we got more out of their official OP. I mean, right now, in many ways, community-run tournaments, I mean, with Stalik, the Road to Stalik being the gold standard, and tournaments like KublaCon and the Windy City Cup, and New York's things like Dance with Dragons or Red Saturday being sort of one step below the Road to Stalik stuff. Like, you get more out of those tournaments, minus a card design, which you get at Gen Con and Worlds, that you do as regionals. Like, we offer more thoroughgoing prize support. We offer at least the bare minimum of what you get out of an FFG tournament. So that's why I don't understand FFG's policies. If FFG was to go one step above what the community could do, it makes perfect sense that they don't want anything to do. Because look, community-run tournaments can sometimes be a PR disaster, right? You get one asshole organizer who's a homophobe or racist or whatever, and they make the company and the game look really bad.
It's gone.
But it is gone. But right now, FFG is not doing as good a job as the unpaid help that they get from the community. And that's the thing that most frustrates me. If all regionals were run on the level of which Gen Con and Worlds are run, I would be perfectly fine with FFG having this sharp policy of there's these community
You really think
world
Gen
and
Con
then
is
there's
sharp?
our world. But the fact that that's not
you
the
really
case,
think you think Gen Con is all that well run?
I mean,
Like it's
I-
always too few rounds. It's always packed. We're there till like 2 a.m. because they refuse to do 2 days. I don't think Gen
no
Con's especially well run.
streaming. No
I think the no streaming thing has to do with the shitty.
Oh wait, we're not.
That-
Hey,
some of
we're not streaming. Yo, we're not streaming.
the stream's
What?
working for me.
I'm the worst. It must be my fault.
Didn't you just say no streaming?
At Gen Con, it's fucking stupid.
Oh,
Oh.
That. Oh,
Oh.
didn't
Oh, I
you
thought you
tell us
meant
on
that
the
we
middle of
were
a
like-
stream? No
oh,
I
stream.
thought you meant our stream stopped.
Hey,
I was
this
like, oh,
actually
we
goes
should
back
stop
to our earlier topic, Buzz. It's because internet infrastructure in quote unquote hillbilly America is just so fucking terrible that you don't have the internet to support streaming in indie. Like
Oh,
trying to.
America.
Where
The
is
worst.
Gen Con? Where's Gen Con?
Indianapolis.
It's in Indianapolis.
It's
Where's
in my
Indianapolis?
It's in my local meta.
No,
It's in
actually.
hillbilly country.
Ah, okay, okay. It's
fucking-
like
It's
in the
the
middle or
state
something.
that Donald Trump just won in a landslide.
Ah, okay, I
Somewhere.
understand.
That's every fucking state.
see,
That's our next
see,
president.
Lucas understands me.
Yes.
Now you know.
And
I
it's
didn't
not
know.
like, I mean, FFG can stream at Worlds because they pay for that extra strong internet at their own headquarters. So,
I mean, it's really not that fucking hard to set up Wi-Fi.
but
You can't
Aaron,
stream
you-
over Wi-Fi. No, 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 no,
Aaron-
no, 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 no.
Aaron, the hard, like, Gen Con is the single most attended, like, gaming convention in the world. Like, the idea of trying to stream on that Wi-Fi that everyone's trying to access is a fucking IT disaster.
Okay. Let's. Okay. Next. I don't care.
But anyway.
enough to argue about
Where's
this.
this hillbilly's fault?
Yes. Let's see.
What were we talking about?
I don't
We're
even
done.
remember.
Next question.
Let's see. Okay. Next question is let me see. Hold on. Totally. Oh, Buzz wants to know, Buzz Hannon, Targ Buzz. Most underplayed / underrated card in the meta, most overplayed / underrated card. And if Sid's answer for underplayed, underrated is not Road Patrol, this whole podcast just needs to end. So we'll
Not-
start
not
with
just
Sid.
messaging us.
All right, I'm gonna throw a curveball and I won't say Railroad Patrol. So underplayed and underrated, is that the question?
Yes, this is from Buzz Hannon, yes.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna drop a plot on everybody, and it might actually be bad, but it's certainly underplayed, and it might be overrated. But in this kind of current meta we have right now, I think there's a place
Okay.
for Power Behind the Throne, the plot.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No,
You're
yeah,
gross.
I know. But no one plays it, and right now, getting multiple challenges out of some very specific characters is super
Miri. Just
strong.
say fucking Miri.
Or
Yeah,
Gregor.
Miri or Gregor
Yeah, just say
you can
Miri.
do some amazing things, but especially with Miri. I mean, like I said, it's this meta right now. Getting 2 out of Miri can be really, really, really good. I think there's a place for the plot now, whereas there wasn't really a place for the plot before now. So underrated and underplayed. Mark it 8.
I vote Tywin Lannister.
Get out of
Like,
here.
there's
Somebody-
people that still don't think that he's the best card in the game. Oh,
He's the
actually,
most
wait. I have a-
underrated card? Wait.
no. Yeah.
What are you
Like,
Okay,
talking
so the questions are underplayed
Wait,
/ underrated. So we have a
about?
clear
Underplayed and
my real
underrated.
My
I
real
gave a good
answer.
answer.
My real answer for underrated right now is Danny. A lot
She's
of
not
Targ decks-
underplayed though. Come on.
Can I didn't say underplayed. I said underrated. A lot of Targ decks right now. Can I fucking finish, you fucker? Fuck.
No.
All right. A lot of people are cutting her from decks for Miri. I don't think that's the right answer at all. I feel like Miri works really well with Danny, despite that you can't both use them both in the same challenge. And I think cutting Danny is just like silly. Like, you're really weakening your Dracarys. You're doing a lot of bad things to your deck by cutting her.
Buzz.
Yes, I think underrated. I mean, for me it's Gaston Grey. I mean, it's not underrated. People know that it's really, really good, but I think Martell is underplayed. I think Gaston is one of the absolute best cards in the meta at the moment because people want to play big characters, Miri, and they want to use Power Behind the Throne to stand her and use her multiple times. Well, no. You can't.
Enough resets are there right now that Sunspear just fucking can close shit. You have to run a specific deck, but in that deck, Sunspear's money.
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried. Yep.
If you're running
Sunspear's
enough resets are there right now that Sunspear just fucking can close shit. You have to run a specific deck, but in that deck, Sunspear's money.
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried Luke.
My underplayed and underrated is Varus. He's like totally dropped out of the meta right now, and though some decks are probably still running him, like there are very few cards in the game that have that kind of impact. I know Lannister's everywhere, and Treachery ruins your day, and he can get killed and all that stuff, but he changes the game, and I think that he's amazing, and I still love him. So I'm gonna go with Varus.
I can definitely vouch for Varys there. I saw this very weekend the Brotherhood's Keith get owned by Varys, played by our very own Sandy, who I think got an unduped Tywin, unduped Cersei, unduped Theon, unduped Asha? Might have been Wendemir, all in one Varys turn. So
I mean, that's what Varys do.
Yeah, it was quite amazing. For me, underrated, underplayed would definitely be New Cat. I think New Cat is a sleeper card. Overall, I would say old No Fun Cat is probably a better card, but New Cat is ridiculous. Once you've played with her some, you can see just how crazy she can get. All right, so overplayed cards. That's the second half of the question. Overplayed, overrated. We'll start in reverse order, and we'll start with me. Overplayed would probably...
And I want to talk, so fuck y'all.
Yeah. Probably overrated would probably be... What's an overrated card? Would probably be...
Your answer should be
that's
Old
actually really
Cat.
hard. Might be Old Cat. It is...
New Cat to Old Cat. I love it.
New Cat to Old Cat. No, yeah, you know what? I'll just go with Old Cat because it's kind of hard. I should have made myself
Why
first.
did you want to talk fucking first if you
I was
didn't
just
have
doing
an
reverse
answer?
order,
You're the
fucker. I
worst
was just
fucking
doing reverse
host
order.
ever.
You know what? Listen to last episode. You guys were a fucking hot mess without me, particularly because Patrick
We're a
doesn't know
hot
how to
mess with
fucking
you.
read cards. Because some people are listening in the background, okay, while they're doing things. Like Buzz, excellent production, but Patrick doesn't know how to fucking read cards. And that's what I said to him to his face. All right. So you know what, Kentucky Fried Luke, it's yours.
Is it me? Yeah. Oh,
Yes. I'm gonna go get you.
Okay.
Maybe that sound is just like a horde of cicadas just kind of like hovering over his house.
I don't know what's going on. Like this has never been an issue before. Overplayed and overrated. I'm gonna go with. I don't know if it's overplayed yet because Martell is not really played all that much, but I think Vengeance for Elia is super overrated.
It's a good card. It's not a great card.
All right, go ahead, Aaron.
House Greyjoy. That like house card is way overplayed and way overrated. Because Greyjoy is a noob deck, and if you're playing it too much, you're a noob. Fuck it, move on.
All right.
I like,
so Greyjoy.
I like this kind of thinking. I hate Greyjoy. I think
Such noob bullshit.
brainless shit. Sorry, all newbies, but so really. I think Hand's Judgment is in too many decks.
Ooh, there we go, Buzz.
I see people
That's some
putting
controversy.
let's build a deck. Okay, 3 Hand Judgment. Why?
That's not-
Why do you do this? It's stupid.
Because Lannister's everywhere.
Yeah,
That's why
Lannister
people do it.
and
I'm not
Targ.
saying it's right, but it's why people do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, people get wrecked by stuff, but you can play around stuff and not put cards you don't need in your deck all the time. I mean, it's correct in the right deck. Sam Bratz, in his Worlds deck, I really like the Hand's Judgments. They were there for one reason, and it was Treachery on his Varys. He needed to trigger Varys, couldn't have Treachery fuck it up, so he played 3 Hand's Judgment. Okay, great. He had a reason to play it. People don't have reasons to play Hand's Judgment all the time. They just stick it in there all the time.
So
I'll
I
jump
think
on the. Oh wait, hold on, my turn.
Sorry, sweetie.
I'll jump on the Greyjoy hate bandwagon and be a little bit more specific and say Seastone Chair. I still see a lot of people kind of relying on it, and I don't think it's a very reliable location. I don't think it does as much as it used to do. There's a lot of great attachments out there. If you're not playing a deck with good attachments, because there's really good attachments out there for almost every deck now, I'm not sure you're playing the game as well as you can, and that just kind of ruins Seastone Chair quite a bit. I don't like Seastone right now at all.
Oh, I've got an
Um,
underrated, underplayed that's along the lines of Seastone. That you just triggered because I'm triggered. Confiscation
Ugh.
is underplayed right now. There's too many good attachments right now. You will lose a game.
I know, and all the people who couldn't come to Dance with Dragons to get their awesome alt art confiscation are just losing out.
Oh, I never
Uh,
got one. I showed up to dance. Fuck you.
You'll
I
get
want
one.
7.
Like
I'm
you're not gonna
stealing
get 7.
Next time I go to Dan's house, I'm taking them. What are you gonna do to stop?
I can't do anything in that case. All right, follow up
Lily
question. though.
loves me.
All right, Lily's great. No one is arguing otherwise. That's Dan's wife, by the way. So Trey wants a follow up question. He wants to know why we consider Greyjoy to be a noob deck.
Okay, I can answer because I did in the chat. It's too few choices. It's uninspired. You draw your hand, and a good player and a bad player will play the same cards from their hand, and they will do the same challenges. There's nothing to if a beginner plays the deck and a world champion plays the deck, it will play the same more or less, I think, and that's bad.
The only skill involved in a Greyjoy deck at all is picking your plots. Like,
Yep.
everything else is just like, yup.
Go first, kneel Balon, win, done.
Yeah. and if they can stop you nailing Balon,
You lose.
have a nice day.
I think you're correct in some aspects, but I think some Greyjoy builds require more thought than others.
Yes. Yes.
Roy's about to say, look, I'm a noob.
Well, I am a
I-
noob, particularly compared to most of the people here. So I will always vouch to that. I'm
Except for me,
not as
Lloyd.
good a player
Except
as
for me.
the 4
Except
of you. Well, Luke, you played in the CCG, but Greyjoy Crossing and a few other Greyjoy builds I think are more interesting and have more decision points than Greyjoy Fealty. But I do think Greyjoy Fealty is the most straightforward deck in the meta.
Greyjoy Crossing is a very different deck. Instead of attacking with Balon first, you attack with him last. It's entirely different. It's not the same thing.
No, I
Okay.
think there are great Greyjoy Lion decks. I think there are great Greyjoy Stark, Greyjoy Sun.
They all do the same thing.
And they have more choices, but it's not enough because they all just try to enhance the stuff that Greyjoy Fealty is already doing, and Greyjoy Fealty is doing it more efficiently than most other builds anyway.
Lion's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, I think Greyjoy Lion is the best Greyjoy build at the moment, but I don't know. I don't play it.
Me neither, I'm not a
Sid or Luke, do you want to heat on Greyjoy some?
I don't play him ever under any circumstances. I don't like it.
Yeah, you just talked about the fact that I was a CCG player and I played Greyjoy all day, every day in the CCG, but the way that they are now in second edition, it just feels like, I don't know, it also feels like there's a lot of luck involved too, right? Like, if I draw the right cards, okay, cool. If I don't, then I guess I lose because I have 3 or 4 like optimal plays per game, and if I don't see a couple of those, then it's over for me.
So Greyjoy as a banner is acceptable, no? I mean, sure, it's a good banner, but like you're bannering, know what you're bannering for. You're saying like, I like stealth and Iron Minds.
Iron Minds.
Right. That's
I mean-
fine. Like, it's not. Look, it doesn't change the skill cap. It just makes some decks better, and saves make things a little more consistent. And consistency is good.
Yeah, particularly in this hyper kill meta that we have right now. All right.
Miri says,
Yeah, Miri says hi. Put to the Sword says hi. Tywin says hi. That fucking mountain pulling 2 6-costers in one go says hi. But anyway, Justin asks, has removing Morbin from the rules served the intended purpose of streamlining everything and making the rules more intuitive for new players, or has it made even bigger problems, such as issues with Jory Cassell and 2 claim plots and Benjen being killed and triggered multiple times in a phase? The latest Nate and Alex Hines and K-Tom ruling that everyone loves.
as long as you have a lawyer and a scientist determining the rules, we're gonna have stupid ass rulings. I blame Alex Hines because he's the worst human being I know.
There's nothing wrong
I,
with
th-
any of our
I think he
rulings.
I think he
love 'em
kills
all.
puppies. I'm pretty sure he murders
Come
puppies.
on. No.
Oh, so much shade.
I have not had a problem with a single ruling so far.
No.
Not a single one. I think they're all fine. They work good, and nothing compares to what Moribund did.
Yeah, but he
to
doesn't even know that
the
they
old
work
game.
well. He doesn't know fucking English. We can't trust him. You get to go with the hillbillies now.
I will also actually agree with Buzz and Sid in general. All of the, I think the only really questionable ruling has become a meme, and I'm
Arbor?
pro that ruling now.
Wait, you don't
Because
think
of the
the fucking
backlash.
wait, you don't think killing Benjen twice is stupid?
It's fun.
I want to hear you.
I like
yeah.
it. I like it. It's good stuff.
I mean,
I want
I-
more
I mean,
power.
it's one of those like situations where
Where you beat a new player with that and they go, "Oh fuck this game! I'm never playing this stupid shit again."
yeah, but there's always things like that.
No,
Like
there
the
doesn't have to
fucking
be
mountain.
shit like
The
that.
mountain is also that. Like
Yeah, but
when-
no,
when-
the mountain does that printed on the fucking card. You don't need some janky ass interaction. Like if you look at the mountain, you go, "Oh wow, sometimes that's gonna just end a game." Yeah, obviously. Fucking the other interaction is stupid. He died twice. What? like
I think
you-
I think it's fine. I love this kind of stuff. I loved Moribund. I won games in first edition because I knew the rules better than my opponents. I kept up to date on the rules forums. I asked questions. I made a point out of learning the rules so
me
that
too,
I
because
so that I
we play this too much.
yeah. But I think the only people to blame are FFG and
And Alex
playtesters. Yeah,
And Alex
playtesters.
Hines. Alex Hines.
Obviously,
Who
he's a
admitted-
playtester, right?
who admitted to it, right, for the start box. So Alex Hines' fault. Got it.
he's
But-
admitted it for both the first cycle and the box. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, just playtests and don't have these interactions. There are wording mistakes. There's not doesn't have to do with Moribund or anything. Just word the card differently so these interactions don't come up. I mean, it's hard as fuck with this kind of timing structure, but
They need a copy editor.
Well, they have a copy editor. and his
It's
name
Alex
is
Hines, isn't it?
Hines. Should I get my copy of Wolves of the North out, which has
Is-
Alex's name?
Is
Right
everyone
there.
just gonna blame Alex Hines for everything from now? That's fantastic. It's not even just me anymore.
I won't do it.
Sure.
I won't
Sure.
stoop.
Are we
I
also
actually.
gonna- are we
as
also
much
gonna
as I
blame
like to
Alex?
whoa, as much as teasing Alex about some of this stuff is fun, like he does put
And
more
true.
work into the rules than almost anyone now at this point. So he does deserve a lot of credit there. Like Alex
Sure.
puts the hours in.
To make the hobby
Just-
list. Got it. Let's move on.
Are we also going to blame Alex for Beyond the Wall only being every other week now?
He murders puppies on his off weeks. I'm telling you this would.
yes.
I mean, if anyone would know, it would be Aaron. He does talk to Doc Naj like 24/7, 365. So
I
With-
woke up with a bunch of texts.
366
Like,
this
what are
year.
you doing?
With Benjen, a Night's Watch character got slightly better than his already not so good status. This is what people are upset about. Come on.
I mean, look. Also,
Nice.
like that Benjen interaction is so specific and will happen in 40 games unless you truly build a deck to abuse it. And are you going to win a game? Like, can you
By
build
gaining
deck
4 power for playing one plot? Yeah, you can win a game that way.
Are
yeah,
you
you
gonna
can win
play?
a game that way, but you can consistently win a game. So, Aaron, does that mean that you and I are going to walk into the Indy Convention Center with a Martell
Benjen.
Night's Watch Benjen abuse deck that is about claiming 4 to 6
Genuinely-
power in one turn?
Genuinely and seriously, without being ironic about this, Alex Hines had a Martell watch deck that was really good. It was really good pre-first snow, but it'll probably be really good again one day. This isn't like some unknown, impossible interaction. Like, he had the deck that was really good. It's possible that deck is really good. I don't think it's great, but it's good. I might be
We're talking
wrong.
about that. We're talking about that deck that he was going to take the Red Saturday before he had to bow before the Porcelain Throne.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the
That's-
last
wait.
listener question, and the amount of shit
Wait.
talking we did of poor Alex Hines. Yep.
Yeah, we should give up on that last topic and just save that for 2 weeks, because now we're back to every other week and make listeners wait to hear us talk shit about all the metas.
Oh, so
Good.
we're. Do you want to?
Oh, are we cutting it right now? Oh no. All
I
right.
mean, it's like
Really?
It's like. Do you want to keep going? We can keep going.
Buzz,
It's fucking
how are you
4.
feeling?
It's 4:30 in the morning.
It's
for you, Buzz. I'm
Ascension
trying to be
Day.
nice.
I have
Yeah.
a holiday.
Is
All
it?
right.
fine.
Holy day for Buzz. So people here, do you want us to keep going? And wait, are we? Wait, is the White Book back next week? Is Will really going back to recording the podcast a week after his wedding?
Have you met Will?
Yeah.
I took any time off.
Well, round of applause for Will Lentz, man. Like that is. If I was in
you're
his
so much
situation, I'd take
you're
another.
so much better of a person than Alex Hines. It's fucking amazing.
Also, round of applause because I'm going to tease something here. We're actually revamping the website with a new theme and more navigable, like bars and structures and everything to be able to make articles better accessible. Everything like it's going to be great.
It's my fault.
Awesome.
My fault. I complained to Will. Your website, it sucks. Stop. It sucks all the time.
He's fixing it. He's
Um,
actually like redoing it right now. I mean,
Yeah.
probably not right this fucking second, but he's redoing
No,
it.
he's probably getting ready to be married. Isn't he getting married Friday? Isn't his wedding Friday or Saturday?
No, he and I were actually working on it today.
Oh, Jesus. Will is dedicated. Like, Kristen is a saint to be marrying a man as dedicated to thrones as Will is. So.
Okay.
We've
So
been
when
told
do
by
we-
chat to go ahead and talk shit if we want. Aaron, are you?
I mean, that's
Ooh.
one person.
I mean, we have 8 people currently live watching us that are signing.
Yeah,
up.
everyone else
So-
was like,
Yeah.
"Oh fuck this."
You have 12.5%.
So
Of the
Right.
whole population. Seriously, it's
of
great.
the whole
So-
population. So
So if you walk into Stalik, if I walk into Gen Con, if I don't know, Lucas walks into Worlds because I don't go to Worlds, but you get the idea. There's certain players who you want to know what they're playing and you want to know how they're doing, right? There's certain metas, not just DC, that you want to know, like, are they playing one thing? Are they playing different things? And what are they playing? What are those metas? Who are those players? It's okay. Baby can scream. Sorry.
I mean,
You mean kind of like scouting?
I mean, not even scouting. Like, you just, like, I'll give you a real easy example. Like, LaPlante.
Yeah.
If you're at Stalik, you want, like, you don't need to know what everything that's in his deck, but, like, if you're at Stalik, you're relatively new, A, you want to know who LaPlante is before you wander into playing against him and end up getting your face smashed in without knowing. And B, you want, like, if you do know who he is, you're curious what he's playing, what his build is, because he's really good. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who are those players? We can take it, like, meta by meta if you'd like. You want to start in Europe or want to start in America?
Can
Oh.
alternate?
Sure.
We'll alternate. So, all right, we'll start with the easy one, which is San Diego. If you walk into Worlds,
Just say
you wanna know
SoCal.
the-
SoCal.
You want
We're
to
a
know
big,
the
big
SoCal.
area. Yeah.
You want to know the SoCal people. I mean, this was like everyone learned this again. Ryan and John and Sid and all the other SoCal guys reminded us all at Worlds again.
Dude,
Like
Let him answer. It's his meta.
it is, but I'm talking them up. That's part of what
Yeah.
you
yeah.
do here. It's like they showed us again at Worlds that they're one of the best metas in North America, and you've got to be prepared to beat them, or at least be prepared for them when they all walk into a room together.
Correct.
Lucas.
No. Yeah, I mean, obviously Ryan Jones, right? He's kind of our most recent shining star with 3 world championship kind of titles under his belt, and of course John Bruno with 2. I think people go to Worlds, and if they're doing well in the tournament and they see that those guys are doing well, they want to know kind of what do I do if I play these guys? I got to be ready for these guys. And I think we've got some more that are kind of coming onto the scene as well. I mean, we have a lot of really, really good California players, but they can't just
Don't-
all win Worlds constantly,
Yeah.
right? So
Don't blow everybody. You said Ryan.
no.
We got Ryan and Bruno. Give us the third. Who's the third?
Right now, if I have to can I give a third and a fourth? Can I do that? Can I do
Yes,
two?
if you're, I guess
I'm
if you're
gonna
a
I'm gonna go all
politician.
the way up to Northern California, okay? Because that's where I'm from, so I still kind of keep pretty close ties with those guys. But Alejandro from Northern California is a
I like him.
really, really, really good player. He started the last couple years of the LCG and just got good like
What's his
day
last
one.
name?
Pantoja.
There you go.
Yeah,
Give him
yeah,
the
he's
proper
on, he's
shout
on
out.
Facebook. He's around. Sorry, Alejandro. And then I think you still have to give it to Johnny Wright right now. He's really kind of jumped onto the scene, obviously at Worlds with that deck last year, and he's done really well out here in California since then. Hopefully, we can make him go to Worlds and Alejandro as well. But those are just kind of two really, really good players we have right now, and those are in addition to Ryan Jones and Bruno. I mean, it's strong. California is as strong as it's ever been. So I think we're all really excited to come out to the big show.
Alright. Can we start Europe with Germany?
Sure. The one I know least about. Great. Nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I have two that I want to talk about for
Okay,
Germany. So
okay.
you can go ahead.
I think, of course, Janis Rupert.
Mm-hmm.
He has been crushing it in the Octagon lead. He's still in it, I think. No, he got knocked out. I don't remember. Anyway. And then we have Daniel Goebel. He's a CCG player and been playing forever and is really great. And then I think I would have to name Helmut, I guess. Yeah, Helmut is great. He's not the best player, but
Sometimes he is.
he's solid. He knows the rules. He won't. I mean, you can't tilt him or anything like that. He will play his game, and he will have a deck that he knows in and out. He will play Greyjoy. It will work, basically.
So I'm gonna add Florian to that list.
Yeah, it's the one I have never met.
Yeah, I've never met him either, but Florian's one of the only people I've played regularly online who just crushes me. Like I'm around 50-50 with everyone else, no matter how good they are, and Florian just consistently beats my face in. He's also got the best draw luck in human history. But hey,
So,
part of
quick
that
question.
deck building, right?
Trey wants to know: are you saying these people could win with a bag of rocks? Are they terrible? Like, even if they're playing a bad deck, do you think these people could win?
I think part of what makes them so good is they don't play bad
Yes.
decks.
Yeah, they're not showing up with a bag of rocks. Yeah.
That's true.
Next meta,
Uh,
let's shit talk Tulsa.
well, I mean, in first edition, you couldn't deny like Kaiser. Like, you immediately wanted to know what Kaiser was playing.
Yeah, but he blows at
Yeah.
second edition. Like he knows he does. Curran is the man.
Yeah, but the Kerns don't
are
travel.
there good
though.
players?
The
like,
Currans
in
don't
Tulsa?
travel. I mean, all right. Matt Phillips is really good. Like first edition, second edition, whatever. Like he is a really good deck builder, and he's a top-notch player. And like, I'm always curious to know what he's playing because it's usually not only good, it's a little different and interesting.
So Matt Phillips is the only one, really.
He's the top.
Because Buzz Hannon moved.
Yeah, he's California now. We got him too. Yes.
Yeah, Buzz. Fuck Buzz. I replaced him. I replaced him. I only have room for one Buzz in my life.
Okay. So we have an inferior Buzz, formerly of Tulsa. Kaiser, great first edition if you're playing Legacy, not so good if you're playing second edition. I love you, Chris. And then Matt Phillips.
Hey, the Kerns. The Kerns are really
The
good. They
Kerns.
just don't leave Tulsa.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a problem. Luke, do you have any Tulsa editions?
I don't really know anybody except Alex. So, yeah, I mean, I think that y'all greatly overestimate the amount of first edition I actually played.
Fair enough.
All right. Then we go back to Europe. Do we want to do? Well, we talked
Oh.
about La Plante, so we can skip France. Do we want to do Spain? There's
Can't
hard
skip
choices
France.
people have to make.
There are.
I mean,
players
you want to
who
do
need know
France
from
or Spain?
France or Spain, Buzz?
France now. Okay, great.
'Cause you are king of
Cabe.
France now. So
Cabe and La Plante, and we're done.
Cabe is Spanish, but okay.
Oh, Cabe is French. Cabe
yes,
is
of
awesome.
course.
All I know, I don't know what language he's speaking. All I know is I like him.
It's not English, at least.
Right? I got that far. It's like this is romance language. We're good.
Yeah. We have LaPlante, of course. He's great. Always in second place. It's the Seth Lowe of Europe, right?
No. no, Seth Lowe is the LaPlante of America. Like
Oh, okay,
you got to get
great,
that shit right.
great. Okay,
LaPlante's been doing that for years.
yeah, but he's notorious for sitting at final tables and losing. Um, and then we have Cutie, a kind of new player. I played him in the semifinals of Tony Dolomont, and
Is he that Martel deck or that Barra deck? I mean,
Lanny Crossing.
oh, okay.
Uh,
know I know what you were playing.
Wait,
yeah,
was
but
he
no,
the guy
no,
that knocked
it
out
was
Tomas?
a mirror.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he knocked out Tomas. Yeah, I think so. He's great. And then, of course, I think Guaric Boyne, or however you would pronounce it, he was at Worlds 2013 final.
Oh,
at the
Garrick. Yeah,
Garrick,
yeah,
yes.
he's really good.
Yeah. I lucked out against him in the top 8. I shouldn't have won, but I
Wait,
did.
was he the Baratheon deck?
Yeah.
Hey, you know-
Martel Stag.
You know who's better than him? Alvaro.
Well, we'll get to Spain. We'll get to Spain.
No,
we'll
no,
get to Spain.
I watched them in the fucking semis of Worlds that year, and God, I'll never forget that game. I've never seen anyone play a better Game of Thrones.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those are the 3 I would name for France at the moment.
There's one guy who has a really cool name, but I can't remember who that is.
Cartagena, Elv.
No. Cat is great. No. It's like a fake last name, and he's on all the things. I don't remember.
On all the things.
Oh,
Okay.
Kavoth.
What?
He goes like he has like a Kavoth bullshit in his name, but he ends up like he's on the top of everything friends post, and I'm like, oh, because it's notable because book character. I don't know what the fuck his real name is. Someone will tell me.
How do you? Can you write in the chat so I know? Next meta.
All right, it would be the U.S. So who else do we want to do? We want to do Chicago?
I mean, sure, Tommy. We done? I mean, nah. Like Doug's. I don't know if Doug plays second edition. I'm good with just saying Tommy. Fuck everybody else.
I mean, I love Tommy, so I'm okay with that. All right. Well, do we want to do 2 U.S. then? Since Chicago. Do we want to do the Midwest in general?
How about Wisconsin? Because Wisconsin actually matters.
I mean, are we talking about? I don't know. Can you separate the Wisconsin guys from DC? I mean, they're all good
Yeah.
friends. They all test together.
Yeah, no.
Patrick.
Patrick, who's New York.
Right. But is
Kid-
Patrick Patrick? He's not. I mean, he's Wisconsin geographically, but even before he became tied into the
Us-
Northeast conspiracy stuff, he.
conspiracy? God, don't call it that. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Corridor.
Corridor, whatever. He wasn't tied into those Wisconsin guys.
You know what's wrong with conspiracy? They spell it with a K like they're fucking middle schoolers. Like
Yeah, it's
K's
okay.
are so much cooler than spelling things with C's. Fuck that.
All
That's
right.
stupid.
Anyway,
I
so
have-
Patrick, okay, and then
Right.
Sam, obviously, and Kid.
Right
And
now-
Geographically.
and Chad Baumgart.
Chad- oh yeah,
and-
Chad's.
Don't forget Chad.
and Tim Peterson. Chad Baumgart. He's fantastic. He's like supposedly like he's one of John's like Thrones idols. But he's supposedly like he's one of Corey's best friends. He's why they're so close. I think he's actually Kid's genuine best friend and fantastic player. And Tim Peterson as well.
I like
No
Chad. He's a
love
nice guy.
to, no love
And
to
Eric,
Cam
but no,
Johnson.
where is Eric living these days? Is he still in DC itself, or did he go back to Wisconsin?
No one cares
He's
what
in
Eric's
DC,
doing.
I think.
Who cares what Eric's doing? We're talking about players that matter right now.
Oof.
No love to Cameron Davison in Minnesota.
Well,
Minnesota's
that's not
a real
Wisconsin.
place.
But
Wait, no.
Do we wanna- alright, do we-
Okay, wait,
alright.
time out. No, fuck the Minnesota meta. I watched that whatever tournament that was, and they were all terrible. And no love for Minnesota. Stream something better, you'll be in.
I like Cameron.
I
I'm
like
sure he's
Cameron
a great
too.
guy, but like, I'll care what you guys are playing when you stream a better tournament.
I like
Buzz,
Cameron too.
Buzz, if you walked into a tournament and you were like Minnesota players are playing, would you turn your head?
No,
Yeah, no.
I've never heard of a single one. But
You met Cameron at World, Buzz.
I'm sure he's a great guy. Stream a better tournament. When you streamed that tournament, it was the worst. That was Minnesota, right? I'm not crazy.
No, it was Minnesota, yeah.
Hated that
Was
tournament.
it,
Tournament are you talking about?
There was this tournament they streamed that
or
was
it might
like,
have been Michigan.
Yeah, it was
Michigan,
Michigan.
that's it.
Michigan
It was
was
Michigan? Okay.
awful.
I'm
awful
sorry.
tournament.
I take back my hate for Minnesota.
No, Cameron. Cameron is like
they're all hillbillies, so it's fine. Cameron.
Cameron
man.
is like the start guy right now.
Yeah, Cameron's a good player.
Okay, so sure, Cameron and you know who else is good for Minnesota? Our friendly card game DB moderator.
Oh, Evan?
Yep.
Evan's good. And Evan's really nice. So
So I'd
Everyone
want
should
to
like Evan.
Yeah. Pipes.
all right, well let's just do this.
Michigan.
because
Go fuck.
okay.
themselves.
We've already doubled down on being super bigoted over the middle of the United States. So let's just limp anyone who does not live on one of the coasts of the United States together in one giant uber meta. So let's throw Greg.
Wait.
there.
No, Missouri is its own thing. Missouri is
Missouri its own thing. Okay.
You are not fucking throwing Missouri for Thrones. Missouri has like fucking 4 world champions and the best podcast host there is. So like they need to be their own meta.
All right. Besides Missouri, then who else in the Midwest and Upper South?
Rings.
Rings. Okay.
Nebraska. Ooh.
What? Yeah, Rings in
That's
his
where
one
he
man
lives.
meta. His one. I was like, what's in Nebraska?
Isn't,
Rings in his one meta.
Isn't Casey in Nebraska now too or something? Isn't like the
Does
first
Casey
world
play?
champion? Yeah, he plays again.
Casey's in Michigan. Casey's
Michigan. Okay. I knew he was in one of the like.
Yeah, but we
Western
already said
states.
fuck the Michigan meta. We're done with that. How about Vansel?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
always in the
Vansel.
cut.
Yeah.
He's always in
Yeah.
the cut. One day.
Kyle had a really good run at
That's-
Worlds.
He was a final table at the Melee a few years ago, right? I think so.
I don't know.
I think
His
so.
deck did things for him. I watched most of Kyle's
His tech
games,
did things.
and his deck took a big dump on his Darkwing took a big dump on him. And what was that the top 4, top 8? I can't remember.
That's obviously a deck that
Oh,
can win a major tournament because that shit closed Stolic, right?
Dark Wings. What?
Yeah,
what?
Stark Wings.
Stark
One
Wings. Yeah.
Stolic.
One Stolic.
You didn't know that? How do you not know that? It's a
I couldn't
Stolic.
remember what one. I couldn't remember what one Stolic this year. I'm sorry.
Bad Thrones geek. All right, so we're
I
done with the
apologize.
Midwest. Spain,
All right.
go.
Spain. Buzz.
No,
Alvaro, obviously.
go, Aaron. Tell me,
Spain.
and I'll correct you. I think.
Alvaro.
Alvaro and Heron. Chefo. I don't know if he still plays. Shit. What the fuck is his name? Tarkin.
Doesn't play anymore, or
Does
not much
Tarkin
at least.
quit? That's sad. He was really good.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Cabe, because apparently he's Spanish and not French.
If you're going to a tournament and are going to check
Wait,
up on 3 people, are you done? 3
Yeah,
people, right?
I don't know. I probably know more. If I'm gonna
He's
check out 3
done.
people, it's
Tell us the
Alvaro,
truth now.
Heron, and Jesus.
I would think. I mean, I would check up on Alvaro just because he's famous, right? I'm not sure he's in the top 3.
Really?
Yeah.
He was in first edition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is a new world.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Ooh, shots fired by Buzz. Here we go.
I mean, I love him. I'm his biggest fan after Ingrid, but but I think
Look, World of
Alvaro-
Three better.
Alvaro, Shadowblade,
Oh, Shadowblade. I
and-
forgot Shadowblade.
and
No, you kick Alvaro out. Who are the 3 that are better than Alvaro? Shadowblade. Who else?
then I would have to say Tarkin, even though I'm not sure he's playing. Tarkin, of course, and either Jesus or maybe Sato.
Shep.
No, not Sato.
Right.
I'm not sure who play.
I don't know.
Yeah, go for Alvaro. I would check up
I
on
guess
him
Alvaro
because
is
he's.
third by default. Alvaro just got sunned on this podcast. I'm so happy.
I
Bye,
would
Buzz.
I would check up on him anyway because he's famous, right? But I would, and I already know what he's gonna play. So I think he's not in the top 3 of me being interested in like what does he play? Does he play this plot? Anyway,
Okay.
But
Alright.
Shadowblade and what did I say? Jesus and Tarkin, I guess.
Okay. Alvaro
And
Gonzalez.
Alvaro.
I really
Uh,
hope he's never going to listen to this, so it won't matter. Maybe someone will tell him.
Okay, back to the U.S. then, or do people have other comments about Spain?
How about Texas?
Hey.
I don't know any of the Texas guys.
is there a meta?
Yeah, there's one guy. Shit, I forgot his name though. Kevin Shee.
Oh yeah, Kevin. Yeah,
I'd
had a
assume
good
he's
game with
still
him at
playing.
Worlds. He's definitely
Yeah.
playing. Didn't he win one of their store championships or something? He won something there.
But Kevin Shee was legit in first edition. I'd assume he's still legit in second edition.
Yeah, I mean, I played him at Gen Con in the second edition tournament. He was good. We had a good game.
Did he win?
He did win very narrowly. It was a very close game. It came down to while firing on the last turn, and he had Joffrey out.
It's people that run Wildfire, I guess. All right. Back to Europe. That was easy.
Where
Why
do you
don't we
wanna
do?
go?
Why don't we do our friends from England? Why don't we do that?
Oh, only 2.5 English players matter.
Well, Bamford,
Okay.
obviously.
He's the
Bamford.
half forward.
Bamford, Wama, and
Walmsley.
half a Craven.
What?
Great.
Half a Craven.
Okay. All right.
I think
And
you're...
if you say Tagore, we're getting in a fucking fist fight.
No.
Tagore is the worst.
He's good at Netrunner, right? That's his
what,
game.
I don't know what that is.
I think...
Oh, he's good at being bad on Beyond the Wall. That's what he's good at.
I think most likely the best player out of UK is Veg.
I don't know who that
He's really good.
No love for Caitlin Woods.
I haven't met her
There-
actually. Is she
I haven't
new
met
for
Caitlyn either,
first
so-
for second edition? I think. Or
I heard her on
I-
an episode of Banter, but I
Well, she made the cut and won a game at Batalla.
Yeah. I heard she's really great, but I think she's new for second edition, and I'm not. I've never met her, so I can't speak for it. But Veg, Whamma, Bamford, probably. Yeah.
Okay. You were so
The-
sad
the-
to say Bamford. You were like, I really want to bump Bamford.
Yeah, I mean, I like the DC guys. They were kind of correct about the Baratheon Maces deck, right?
bringing Seth. Gage
No,
in.
but-
they were
If they're-
totally right. They were just rude about it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
Oh.
I think there are more really. I think the third slot is really hard. There are some pretty good players. There's this Scott that plays really well. Reese plays well. Are there any good players other than them? I don't know. But
Nope, we're done.
yeah, but Bamford makes a solid third, right? I think so.
Okay,
I-
so we're back
I
to
actually,
the U.S.
I
Do we wanna
actually think Craven is good. I just like throwing shade at podcast hosts. Go ahead.
Let's do New York. Let's spice this up. Let's go to New York.
Only 2 players in New York matter.
Ooh.
Dan
Who
and
are
Dave.
they?
Dan and Dave.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with New York.
Dan
Well,
and Dave,
well,
who?
Dave, whoa!
for
I will
people?
actually speak for Dave Stroms right now. Dave would personally say right now he does not matter because all he cares about is second Stroms.
Yeah,
Or
look,
fourth
if
strokes.
he played and shows up at a tournament, he's an automatic contender to win.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I agree.
It's Dan
But-
and Dave.
But,
And
but,
then
we're- but we're
Everett.
giving a hard time. Like Buzz was hating on Alvaro for not playing.
I'm not giving
as well
Dave
as
a
he
hard
did in
time
first
for his.
edition.
I'm not giving Dave a hard time for his skill at thrones. Like that's like
I
Dave.
agree. I'm
Dave
not giving him
gets
a hard time
Dave
either.
gets a
but-
hard time for being American Alex Hines. Dave does not get a hard time for being really good at the game.
a good dad.
Yeah, like
All right, I agree. I mean,
there's no
Dan
spite.
is going to make the cut at any event in New York that he
Dan is going to
shows
make
up.
the cut at any deck that he shows up with a decent deck with.
that he shows
And
up
he-
and doesn't
and he
scoop
might
to
win.
people because he feels sorry for them.
Dan
Which
beat-
totally did not
wait, wait.
happen at the Strat Star Championship.
Dan beat the fucking fire out of Dark Notch. That's all I know. He just badly outplayed Dark Notch, and I hear Dark Notch is pretty good.
That's good.
From
Yeah, I mean,
from John's own mouth, and then Dan's like, "No, it wasn't that bad," because he's so sweet.
but look, and I'll be the first to admit this. Like, if you are coming into a store championship in the Northeast, in the greater New Jersey, New York area, you do have to worry about Joe from Brotherhood. Like, Joe's good. Like, he and we're not each other's favorite people, but Joe is a good player. And
I wish Keith was the better one. I like Keith is much nicer.
I agree, but Keith is more the Roy of New York.
That's not true.
Uh,
There is
so-
only one Roy.
yeah,
You saw what
well,
happened when Patrick tried to Roy.
but my point is that which is more that he is friends with good people, but not perhaps at the same level as some of them. But yes, definitely Dan and Dave and Joe. Are
I
the
mean,
people
no,
that-
fuck that. I'm better than Joe. Move on.
Okay,
like,
well, Aaron, you
there-
excluded yourself.
No, there's
Like-
two that matter in New York. If there's a third, it's still me, but there isn't. Like, I'm a step below those two. But like I'm better than Joe. Come on.
I
don't give
agree.
me that
I
bullshit.
agree, but you excluded yourself.
Don't give me
so-
that shit. Like, we're good at two in New York. Thanks.
All right.
So good.
Can you guys do Italy so I can go pee? Because I only know like 2 Italians. And fuck Waldo, because I got the name wrong last week.
All right. If Aaron's going
All right. The people who actually do this cast are gone. Great. I don't really know the people from Italy. Especially not the names.
No, it's Gualdo's not even in Italy, right?
Now he's in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes. I think there are like 2 Franciscos or something like that who are good. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was that that Phenom Stark deck, Francesco D'Alessio, right? Who
Yeah.
was playing that crazy double hits on spikes plus Feast for Crows Stark deck that was winning a ton of tournaments.
Yeah. What other metas are there that people should know
Europe?
about? Yeah.
Well, just go to Sweden. Forget those guys. Let's go to Sweden. Let's do it.
Okay. I think Aaron would be interested in doing or hearing about Sweden.
Well, he has a small bladder, so let's just let's keep it going.
What meta do you want to know about? Oh, we actually have Hungary, right? There are 2 players that you really should know from Hungary. It's Tamas, who made top 8 with Nightwatch Fealty at Torneo de Lomon, and Istvan, who won Stalik Melee 2012, I think. Really good player.
What country are we on?
Hungary.
Hungary.
They wanted me to do Sweden, but I wanted you to first name. What do you think?
You, Jakob Ryback.
Okay.
I know you think like 3 people are better than that, but fine, you're wrong.
Yeah, I think top of the list, Björn Jornar, Jacob Hultman, Ryback, and then we have.
You.
I'm not so
You
sure.
just won
I'm-
Tourney
I'm
de la
not-
Main. Come on.
Do you know why I travel so much?
So
Because-
humble.
So you
It's
can get
so
away
fucking-
from the Swedish meta?
It's so fucking hard to play in Sweden.
I have the same problem in New York. I'm like, I show up at a tournament, I'm like, great. Well, let's see how far I can go before Dan knocks me out.
Yeah. No, but I think we have Jacob Voleman. He's really great. He's the one who's been building most of my first edition decks. Like the Seat of Shadows was his creation. And we have actually one guy. We have an OK Targ of Stockholm. It's another Jacob Turnike, and he never plays. Then he shows up, wins the Swiss, and gets knocked out in the first round. He has. I don't think he's ever not won the Swiss in second edition in Stockholm, and that says a lot because I'm playing. Ryback has been traveling to Stockholm. Jacob has been playing. Per Engström has been playing. Björn Jorner has been playing. Pontus Streamling, the current. He won Warburg last year.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah.
Buzz, why don't you just mention yourself? Like
I
this
think
is
I might.
ridiculous.
I think I might be fourth or fifth in Sweden.
That's the Jantelagen.
No, I think I'm thinking maybe I'm third in Stockholm, but not in Sweden.
All right, let's do DC.
All
All right, Corey is the only one that matters. He gives the rest of them their decks. Fuck all the rest. Go ahead, Buzz. Say the DC guys.
Corey and Seth.
Oh, no, Simone.
Simone.
Oh yes, Simone is
Simone's
from there.
got
Of
it.
course, of course,
Yeah.
of course. He was
Aaron-
so sad when we played in Melee two tables, and he was like, "Well, fuck."
Simone's one of the best players I've ever sat at a table against.
And he's so nice.
Nah, he's a douche, but he's a good douche. He's our douche. Simone's one of the ones who will always be out drinking and singing with us. What's his name? Wow, I fucking lost
Roy,
his name.
you're muted, by the way. Been for a long time, I think.
Is he even here?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, who am I
Okay.
forgetting from DC? I can't think of his name.
Aaron,
Rick.
Brian, Rick.
Rick. Rick is really good. Rick is like top 4 all the fucking time at Gen Con.
Yeah, Rick's really good. I mean,
Brannigan.
DC has a surplus of talent. I mean,
Pat,
here's the thing.
Pat Reynolds. But just
Pat,
scout. But just scout one of them, and you'll know all their decks.
Right. I mean, that's the key thing, right? If you like, there's usually 2 DC decks, so you need to know both of them.
Look
at a big
for
event.
Patrick. Look for Patrick Reynolds. He'll be playing one. Then
Well, and then look for Seth.
and
Yeah.
he'll be playing the other. And then Simone will be playing some weird shit off the side.
Unless he gets talked into playing Stark Harrenhal and then hates it and wishes he had played some infinite loop deck than he had Corey, and then talks about it the whole rest of Worlds about how he should have played that deck, particularly after getting owned repeatedly by the San Diego deck, and he was like, I had this infinite loop deck that Corey and I built, and we should have played that, but they were like, no, play something consistent. And he's like, it was the last 1.0. I should have played something fun. But no, DC has a lot. I mean, Corey is obviously the flashiest, but he doesn't play in the joust. He only plays in the melee.
That's not true.
He
knocks people out of the cut. He
He
plays
did
until
the
the cut.
last. But here's the thing: I don't know that in my experience. He didn't play in the joust at Gen Con. He didn't play in the joust at Worlds. I mean, that maybe have been true at the Worlds that you went to and the Gen Cons that you've gone to, Aaron. But in the more recent experience, Corey has 100% just been in the coach role,
Okay.
except in melee. But definitely Rick, Aaron, Patrick, and Seth would be, in no particular order, would be the people to watch out for, and Brian as well.
And Rick. And Simone.
And Rick. Didn't I say Rick? Or did I not? Well,
mentioned
Simone
both
is his
of those people.
own creature. Like Simone is Simone. Like
Simone's
Simone's
lives
obviously
in
DC.
California now. You guys know
Yeah,
that,
he
right?
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
he lives
not,
in,
he's
San
not a part of
Francisco,
your
right?
meta.
He's not a part of any meta now. No, he's definitely
he's
not part of
Steve.
the California
He's
meta.
All right, are we
what-
back to
what-
Europe, or do we want to stay in North America still?
What are we missing in Europe? Is that all the major metas? How about Finland?
Ooh, Finland. Oh my god. There are 2 players.
And
And only 2 players. There is Antti, who won the Nordic Nationals last year.
that's the only one I know.
And then there is the phenomenon that is called Jonas. He is the most amazing. He is the Roy of Europe. He is super amazing, cuddly, has really cool hair. You have to check out the picture later. It's like big and fluffy afro hair, kinda, and he only builds rush and janky shit. He's the one who built the Infamaze that I played at Stalek last year that won turn 1 every time. And it had cards from all houses except Greyjoy. And I'm not sure. I think it was Barra Conquest Lanny. But I mean, it could be any. It doesn't matter what houses it was. Just that the cards were correct. Was such a stupid deck, and that he's the most creative deck builder in the world, and it's so stupid how cool his decks are. Sadly, second edition doesn't cater to him yet, but
Dun, dun, dun.
It will sometime. You're muted again, Roy.
I haven't said a word.
Okay, you looked like you were
Self-muted.
trying to talk.
How about
No, I was texting Alla, so I covered my mouth because I burped because I am on beer number 4.
Are we on to Baston?
So
Is it Baston? time?
Boston, yeah, I can do Boston. I mean,
Brit,
obviously
Lauren.
there's the Fitches, like they're both amazing. Britt and
Fitch
Lauren.
wins.
Who's
Well, they
third?
go back and forth now. It's a very equitable marriage these days
Wait,
with both
wait,
Lauren
'cause-
and Britt taking home tournaments.
Third is hard because
Um,
it's Mark or Lavin, right? Like, pick one.
Mark or Lavin. There's also Devin, who did really well in the Store Championship season, who I don't think Aaron's met yet.
No.
Boston actually has a really deep bench right now. There's Devin, there's Chris, there's Mark, all people that I immediately want to know. I mean, Chris I usually know because Chris is a good friend, what he's playing. Also, Alex B is he's had a really good Store Championship
I wasn't
season.
counting him as Boston.
And you
Yeah,
also-
okay.
Also, particularly for people who care about worlds, Tom Malucci, who is the reigning Star Wars World Champion, Thrones is his second game, and he's quite passionate about it. And he came in second at the Boston Winds of Winter Store Championship. Watch out for Tom. Like he is his card game basics.
You just
are
named
ridiculous.
7. You're too nice. You get 3. Pick 3.
Okay, pick 3: Lauren, Britt, Tom.
Okay.
No offense to my other friends, like those 3: Lauren, Britt, Tom. I think Tom's card game fundamentals are there. He doesn't know Thrones as well as Aaron or me or Chris, but his card game fundamentals are as good as anyone. There's a reason why he's in the top cut at every Star Wars major event ever, that in the entire existence of the game. So
We have one of those in Thrones. He just barely plays Thrones anymore.
So-
John.
talking about John, yeah.
John's
John's-
fantastic at Thrones. He just doesn't play much anymore.
He hates the very nature of the game. So he doesn't.
I
play it.
mean, I think we should just introduce him to Alex and be like, he's the one who killed the game for you. Fix it right away.
No, I think no, I don't think that's true with John. I've talked to John actually a lot about this. I think it's baked into the very Nedley nature, to use the Thrones term, that Eric Lane came up with, right? Because fundamentally, Thrones is a game of denial. Like everything you do in the game denies your opponent something to get to your win condition. You know, a military challenge steals characters. An intrigue challenge takes cards. A power challenge steals power. John doesn't like that. Like John prefers games that your win condition isn't necessarily tied to stealing things, just preventing what your opponent's trying to do, and all those kind of things. He's too nice of a person. That's one of the things about John that I love, is that
John
he's
is
a great guy.
vicious, but that's fine.
He's a vicious player. Like he will own your face, but as a fundamental human being, he is incredibly nice, and that's why he prefers, say, Star Wars, which is a little bit less about denial and a bit more about pulling off your own cool thing before your opponent pulls off his or her cool thing.
Okay, I guess.
I mean, that's just my take, having talked to John a lot about this and tried to get him to come back into Thrones.
Are we missing anybody? Any metas unmentioned?
Did we not talk about
Yeah.
Missouri?
We
We
have.
didn't talk about Missouri, and we didn't do Florida.
Netherlands.
Florida only has one player.
Buzz, do you want to talk about the Netherlands?
Netherlands. Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Remco?
Dockside's coming up.
Yeah, Dockside is this Saturday.
Donovan?
Donovan is the one you really should know. Then there is Remco
Don's my boy.
Remco's good.
and
Remco and I have
Menno.
been cooking up some stuff for Dockside. It's been
but
fun.
then there's
Oh fuck! I was supposed to edit that. I think.
there's a new player who's I think is second. Like it's Dawn, and then there's their new player.
I've heard about.
Thice,
Yes,
something like that.
THJIS. Yes.
Tice?
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's Thice.
Is it Ruben in Netherlands as well?
I haven't met him. He's a new player for second edition, so I'm not sure. Seems good. He performs well in tournaments, but he doesn't have a legacy to fall back on, right? Probably, yeah. Ruben seems good.
Ruben
yeah.
would definitely be up there. Yeah. Isn't
Don-
Don is gross
yeah,
because
Dawn
he
is
got
amazing.
good. He got good so fucking fast. It's obnoxious. he was such a noob at Blackwater.
Yeah.
Do you remember how like noob he was at Blackwater?
I
And fucking when he was running Stalik, I was like, how is this even possible?
I don't remember him from Blackwater. I mean he was
I
a
do, I
nobody,
don't-
right?
Yeah, I mean, I bet him because I like people and like I really like that meta.
I like the
Remco's-
Netherlands meta a lot too.
Remco's a good friend too.
Remco's a good friend. Menno is a good friend. Donovan is a really amazing player. Yeah. There we go. And Ruben, what? You just need to meet us, Ruben. That's the key thing if you're listening to this.
Did you do Italy?
I talked to Ruben pretty consistently.
Yeah,
Did
me
you
too.
do Did you do Italy?
Yes.
We don't,
Sort of.
we don't
I
know
was-
any
Hey.
players from Italy, but
Oh, okay. They like
I'm
have
gonna,
18 card designs. I figured they'd be famous.
I'm gonna
Do
sign
they?
out, guys. You guys just keep on rolling, but we're at
Oh
plus
wait,
2.
no, you have to
I'm
do
gonna-
one more thing.
Bitch.
You have to
Oh,
do
one
one
more
more
thing?
thing.
Hurry,
Yeah,
hurry,
yeah.
hurry.
First, let's say Missouri, and we're not arguing, is Greg, Will, and Mark Downing. And then Tyler Thompson's all that matters from Florida. But you're gonna give us.
Whoa! Don't forget the Rosarios. Don't underestimate Lauren.
Yeah, I'm underestimating them until like. No, I'm not underestimating them. I don't fucking know how seriously they're playing second edition.
They're playing
Whatever.
second edition.
Shut up. Someone's trying to leave. Name your top 10 players. That you top 10 players that in North America you can only count European players that you've played against. In no
Okay.
order.
I am not
Did you-
participating in this.
Did you say I
conversation.
can count European or no?
But
You
only
pick-
if you played them at Worlds.
If you've played them, and I mean, or Octagon's fine.
All right, top 10. Here we go. I'll say John Bruno, Ryan Jones. I'll say John Barber, who is another California player who is just crushing it right now. I'll say, let's go Kid Seafelt, Sam Bratz. I'll say Butzloff, right? Because he's got legacy, and we played back in the day. So I'll say him, and I beat him. Woo! Oh, who else do I want to put on this list? I'll put Bamford on there because he doesn't
Oh,
get
shit.
enough love. I'll
Dude,
give
we
it to
totally
Bamford.
forgot Canada.
We'll do Canada.
Oh,
when
we'll,
Sid's
we'll
gone.
get to them.
All right.
What? I'm up to 7. I need 3 more.
Let's just say fuck Canada.
I'm gonna put John Kraus on there, who doesn't get enough credit in California, but he's one of our best players. He got 2nd overall at Worlds. He's really good. And shoot, 2 more. I don't know. I'll just give 8. Those are my 8. Those are my top 8.
Okay. You can
You're not
go.
gonna throw like 2 world champions on there, Sid, for a second. Like,
I did.
I'm trying to think. Who did you not represent? Oh God, why is my brain?
did you say
He doesn't-
any of this DC guys?
Oh, you know what? I have played.
Yeah, you haven't
Corey.
said Corey,
I'll-
or you haven't
forgot.
said.
Well, I thought it was people we've played, right?
No, it
I
doesn't have to
played
necessarily.
Corey-
Only in Europe, it has to be people you played.
Yeah, it could be an
Oh.
American you've seen enough to know. You know.
Oh, I was listing all players I've actually played a game against. So I'll put Corey in there. It was a melee game, but he masterfully manipulated the table. And one more. I don't know. I'm done. I can't think of any. I want to pick people I've actually played because everything else is just theoretical. So everyone I listed, I've played, and they're just amazing players. And they're awesome. Yeah, more awesome than me.
Right. Hey. Happy Star Wars Day, Skywalker.
Oh man, May the 4th be with you.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a great night.
We love you, Sid.
See you, boys.
See you in 2 weeks. I hate his other picture that he doesn't have a beard in. It's so sad.
All right. Who wants to do their next top 10?
You.
Okay. All right. We'll start with 1. We'll do Corey, Simone, Dan Struhall, Dave Stroms, Aaron Glazer, Kid, Jakob, Dave, Ryan,
Dave who? Bamford?
Bamford,
Ryan? Okay.
Ryan, Sam.
Okay.
That's like you said, only Europeans that you've either played or seen play
Yeah.
in person. So
Yeah, I want to add Sam to mine, and he's not making my list, and I'm a little sad about that. Buzz, you want to go first, next, or me?
American players, or what are we talking
you
about?
can only be American players you played against either at Worlds or
Or
on
just-
Octagon.
And then it can be any European you would like.
Okay. Corey, Seth. I've played against them. Um, who else? I played
Doesn't
against.
have to
Oh.
just be Americans. Oh, you want to just do an American list? Why don't you? You're the most worldly of us. You get to do 10 Americans or North Americans because I guess Dark Notch and them count.
But I
Dark
don't
Notch
know.
made no one's list, which
I
is
don't
pretty.
know enough. Right?
Aw.
I've played against
Well,
Sam, Corey, Ryan, I think, and Seth, and then a lot of nobodies that I don't remember. Patrick, for example.
oh shit!
Shots fired.
He is a lot better than he was at Worlds.
Yeah.
It seems.
Significant.
Okay, so top 10 in Europe, I guess, because I don't know US. I really
Alright,
don't.
fuck America. You're the only European voice. Do all Europe.
Okay.
My list ends.
I'm
up
not
being-
sure. I'm not sure if I can make like, oh, this is number 1, this is number 2. But
No,
top
no.
one-
No order. Just whoever
Okay,
comes
okay,
off the top of your head.
So Jacob, of course, and Ryback, and
If you say 10 Swedish people, I'm gonna punch you.
I really like Gorik, his playstyle and stuff. And it's 3. Who else? I think
This is so educational. I'm just taking notes.
Andre from Czechoslovakia. No, not Czechoslovakia, but Czech. It's so weird.
Czech
It's
You know,
so,
the country
it's,
that
Czech
has
Czech
Republic,
Republic.
Andreas.
It's so weird to just
Czech
say
Republic.
Czech.
that
Czech.
country
It's
that
so
didn't
stupid.
exist in 35
It's the-
in 35 years. God.
I was there like 2 years ago, but whatever.
It's the Czech Republic.
Yeah. We say in Sweden we just say Czech. Done. Nothing else.
4.
And that's 4,
you haven't
right?
touched. You haven't really touched Spain. You barely touched France. No England.
Okay, Shadowblade, Tarkin, Wedge,
Wait, Wedge? Antilles? Oh no, not Wedge. Veg.
Wedge.
Oh yeah,
Wedge,
Wedge.
Wedge,
Oh,
Wedge.
I fucking love Wedge. I can't believe I forgot Wedge. I didn't. Oh.
Yeah, that's the guy
is
I
my
took
boy.
put at the top. In
Yeah.
UK.
You said you do the V sound with the W because you're Swedish, and I didn't make the connection because hell yeah, he's top 3. Wedge is the best. He drank with me all fucking night,
Yeah.
and I play with him on Octagon some. Shit, can
Okay,
I fit him on my list?
so where are we?
7.
7. Who else are really good?
You didn't touch the Germans.
I haven't played against the Germans at all actually.
no. Jana's
Name
feature
Dave,
had pretty
Dave?
good.
Tamas, of course.
Which Tamas for listeners who might be unaware?
Tamas Albek from Hungary made top 8 recently at in Paris.
At every tournament he ever goes to, yeah.
I guess I would say Laplante. And
Are you number 10?
yes, no, I said no more from Sweden. Okay, number 10 is. Should we touch on Spain maybe a little bit more? Yeah, okay, Alvaro, go. Alvaro.
Oh, you were so kind. All right. Only players I've either played or seen play in person. Bruno and Greg get there, even if they're not quite there now, and I don't know if they are or not really. like I feel like we have to put them on because double world champions legacy. Like the game doesn't exist in its current form without those two, right? Jakob is one of the best players I've ever sat at a table across from. Dan Struhal is just fucking absurdly good and pisses me off all the time because he's the best guy. Simone is good and still a giant douche. Corey is one of the like 3 or 4 players I've ever sat across from the table for and felt like I was completely at his mercy. Alvaro is one of the others of those. Dark Nudge has to be there for me because like tournament Dark Nudge is just a different beast. Don is on the list, and the last spot is ridiculously competitive. It's a toss-up between Jones and Bratz. I went Jones just barely because I've seen him play more. I've played him. All right.
I think okay. So overall, I think if you made it through this entire discussion, you probably get a good sense of who the best players in the world are overall, and who to look out for if you do end up going to Gen Con or Worlds or Stalic or one of the Road to Stalic events. I think we lost Sid, the most charming of all of us. So does anyone have any closing comments before I open our last segment that Aaron specifically banned, so we're definitely going to talk about it?
Wait, what?
What?
I
We're going to
wasn't
talk about the
listening.
show, right?
What show?
What show? The only show that matters?
Great Beards of Westeros?
Well, Great Beers of Westeros, which is every Monday. What did you guys talk about this week?
Speaking of great beers,
It was
Westeros.
cancelled this week. Lauren was feeling.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah,
So
Lauren-
Lauren's
Great
next
Beers
week.
of
Lauren's next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Buzz.
And
All right,
then
awesome.
and then we have the
Thanks.
Team Covenant guys are coming on actually after that.
Awesome. I love Great Beers.
Buzz, I
You know
just
who-
say thanks to you.
When I'm
wrote that
commuting, it's
Yeah.
my
Wait,
second favorite show
wait.
to show up on my podcast feed after Banter. I always have a good commute when I listen to Banter.
Hey, Luke, say what you're saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say thanks to the cast of Great Beards of Westeros for giving all kinds of tips for my new beard status.
We had a private consultation with Luke some days back.
You guys should launch a Patreon, and one of the rewards should be if someone gives you $10 a month, you get a private beard consultation with you, Samuel, and Jakob. Like, that's worth $10 a month.
There will be a Beardly Ned column that documents my progress to growing a beard.
So you guys need Will on. Have you seen Will Lent's current beard?
Yeah, Will's beard is badass.
Holy shit! You need to look up Will's current beard. It's fucking ridiculous.
Beards, like Will's beard is.
It's
You should definitely have Will on.
before he shaves it. God, I hope he doesn't shave it for the wedding. That'd be the worst decision ever.
I don't think it will. I mean, your beard does not get that long if your future spouse is not cool with it. Like that is a big beard.
Like it's a genuinely epic beard. I didn't think Will had that much manliness in him.
It's up there with Samuel's beard. Like it's a
Nice.
good beard.
All right.
Or Ryan's. Ryan's beard at Worlds was redonk.
Hey Buzz, do you want to go to bed or you want to keep going?
I have nothing to do.
All right, I got another like good 10-15 minutes in me. You want to talk about the fucking TV show?
Want to yell about
No.
the TV show? No. All right.
No, all right, because
I
that's
mean,
what Roy was trying to talk about.
Okay, sure, go. I mean,
Wait, are you
Okay,
caught
hold
up?
on. Before we do it, we got to say it. Spoiler alert. Anyone who listens beyond this point
They know what spoiler alert means. Shut up.
has signed a contract to not complain in the Facebook group
Hey,
about Game of Thrones
wait.
spoilers.
Buzz, are you caught up?
yeah, of course. I mean, I watch it the second it gets released.
Same here. Al and I, that's our Sunday night. So that and Silicon
Roy,
Valley.
people are gonna complain in the Facebook group. People are gonna complain in the Facebook group no matter what.
I mean, we did talk a lot of shit this episode. So
But people don't watch this show anyway, right?
that's
How
true.
would
That's
they
true.
know? How would
Kid,
they know?
Kid does because he likes to stalk me and then say he's not.
Okay.
Kid and Aaron fought for like 2 days. It was quite impressive.
It was really good. I was having a really good time. I was gonna keep that shit going as long as I could. Eventually, like I just ran out of like we stopped being mad at each other and there was no real fight to be had. I was like, all right, I'm bored now.
You were fighting when Al and I came like the episode went up, what, Thursday? And then you and Kid were still fighting when Al and I came to visit you Friday at like 3 or 4 p.m. to meet Noah.
No, we were
But-
done fighting. I was fighting the fucking Brotherhood people by then.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's what we were doing then. That's right. We transitioned from fighting Kid to fighting.
That was when they were like, dude, we never lose tournaments, and I giggled, and then we owned them in a tournament. Come on.
That did happen.
Where the fuck were we? Oh yeah, the TV
Oh,
show.
the show.
TV show.
Is Dorn the
Can we
worst
just
thing
not?
ever?
Yeah,
Can
I
we just
mean-
not talk about the first episode? Like,
Yeah. All right. I didn't hate the second episode. I didn't like the second episode, but I told.
I loved the second episode. It was great.
Really, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good episode. Like the first episode was so offensive to me that like
it
the
was
second
terrible. It was fucking awful.
But it was
Did you like-
only it was only the door and stuff, right?
No, I
Really?
hated like they completely undid all the fucking like they completely undid all the character work they'd done with Jamie. Like
Yeah,
there was
sure.
no
What
happened-
semblance
what
of
happened with
growth from
Jamie?
He just decides that he wants to fuck his sister again and forget all the like shit he learned with
right.
Fran.
Yeah.
And, like,
because in the
fuck
book
everybody.
He's like
in the book,
yeah,
he
he's about to
starts
kill
hating her.
Yeah, he grows as a character instead of just staying the same person forever.
I think-
And then, like the Tyrion shit, which is like they introduced boats for like 2 minutes last season to just have them burn this season, which is just bad storytelling. And then the fucking Dothraki are gonna rape Dany for no goddamn reason for like a whole scene that we could have just cut
God.
out completely.
Time lapses are just insane.
And yeah, it's bad writing. And then like people are like, you shouldn't call professional writers bad writers. It's like fuck you. I know how stories are supposed to work. Luke, is that bad writing, Mr. Editor of Literary Magazine?
Yeah, it's bad writing. Yeah. I don't think that being an editor of a literary magazine, even if it's international, like qualifies.
It makes you at least
That was the most
somewhat,
humble brag comment I've ever heard from an editor of a literary magazine.
it makes you at least somewhat well versed on writing and how it's good or bad.
I did have to edit Whama's article yesterday, and
Did you obviously
say-
edit
Wait,
obviously
is this
them as an obvious article?
well,
Is this
that
a-
was the thing. Is like just all of the like you never really consider the differences between British English and American English in written form until you have to sit there and like copy edit. And I'm just like
Wait.
the way that
All right, I'm
the way
sorry.
that clauses stack
Fire
on top of
Luke,
each other,
you're
it's
cutting-
so strange.
The Britishisms from Englishisms from Wama's articles, that's half the charm of Wama. Like if you cut
You
No,
got
I
thumbs
didn't-
down.
No, I ended up not cutting them. That's the thing. Is like
Good.
it was just different the way that clauses stacked up on top of each other. It was
It
just
really is.
different.
Oh, and the
sorry, bean blood?
the
Yeah.
cliffhanger of fucking Melisandre being old, which is not a cliffhanger. It's so badly structured.
Well,
All right, let's talk-
for the viewers, they are right. We read the books.
No, her being old is foreshadowing. Like it's something that means something else has to happen. It's not a cliffhanger. It's not like an oh my god, what happens next because she's old. Like it doesn't work the way cliffhangers are built. Like
All right.
it's bad. Episode 2 though, tell us what you liked.
You were on.
I like that shit happened.
You're on. Oh, you're back
Yeah.
on.
The Greyjoy stuff was better, I guess would be the best way to put it. And then
Wait, you mean it was better than the fact that they forgot about it for 4 fucking seasons?
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely true. I was glad that they, again, spoiler alert,
Shut up with the spoiler alerts. Just fucking talk.
made Jon Snow come back within 2 episodes. Like I appreciated that. Like if they had dragged it on any longer, I probably would have been really
Hey.
pissed off.
All of my non-book reading friends decided to spoil that shit on Facebook. And I'm like, really? Like I haven't spoiled shit for fucking 5 years. The first time you have the opportunity to spoil some shit, you're like, oh, Jon Snow's. You're such douches. Yeah,
But
sorry.
we
go ahead.
we knew that, right?
Look,
already.
no one was surprised, but don't spoil it thinking you're cool. Like spoilers, Jon Snow's alive. Yeah, we fucking know.
The
But,
second
like-
episode was The second episode was so much better just because like shit actually happened. Like things actually advanced the plot.
Well, one thing. Well, I guess two if you
No, a
count
bunch of
Balon.
things.
What else happened that advanced the plot? Besides
Uh,
Balon and John.
We finally touched base with Bran, which seems like it's
Oh.
going to be really important.
Yeah,
Like, which is
I'm
probably the best scene of the show. It's that or Greyjoy, right?
Yeah, the Baron stuff was fun.
What else happened?
Arya transitioned from being blind.
Oh, I mean, no, that's not a thing that happened because she was blind for like an episode and a half, and we knew she wasn't going to stay blind. Like, I don't understand why they felt the need to do that way. Like, she's blind. Oh, never mind. No, she's not. She learned a lesson. Next.
Yeah, but the show. I mean, the show clearly wants to hit a lot of the beats that are in the book, but sometimes doesn't entirely know how to integrate them into the narrative that they want to tell. And that's kind of obvious with sometimes with Arya, and also clearly with Dorne. I mean, the greatest
It's
spoiler
weird.
for the
It's like there's not source material to draw from.
Well, there is and there isn't, right? Like Martin gave them a apparently relatively detailed outline of the ending, and probably the biggest spoiler that book readers have gotten from the show so far. Because like any book reader could probably guess that Jon Snow's coming back.
There are people
But-
that argued forever that he really wasn't.
Yeah, those people are dumb, and like the problem with A Song of Ice and Fire fandom in the last 4 or 5 years is that they just embrace these tinfoil hat theories, like Dario is Euron is Benjen, and all of this stuff. Like whatever.
You've never seen them in the same place, man. You've never
Yeah,
seen
like
them in the same
obviously,
place.
like I've never been in the same place as Bernie Sanders, so clearly I'm a 67-year-old Jewish socialist from Vermont, right? Like
There's
I mean,
nothing that disproves that.
85% of your statement was true anyway.
But anyway, like what the spoiler that we've gotten, they're spoilers by implication, right? Is that Dorne is going to have a role in the war with the Lannisters and the bigger picture, because clearly the Sand Snakes are going to put Dorne on a warpath now, so we know that. Like, so we now know it's going to
We
be
knew
completely
that
different in the
already.
books.
That
Well, we knew
no,
it
but
and
that
we
was
didn't,
already
right?
happening. Like with
Yeah.
What's his name, Young Griff, who doesn't exist in the TV show,
Right.
And Arianne,
Arion
yeah.
Blackfire.
and whatchamacallit, Ariane, who also doesn't exist on the TV show.
Yeah, which I think was a mistake on the shows. Like I think Ariane could have been integrated more interestingly than they
Smoothly.
tried, but that's my opinion. But other things like the Stannis
like-
dying last season just shows that Stannis will eventually die in the books. He's not a character that is important to the end game. Like that's what it says. It says that when
That was really obvious too.
well, it isn't though, Aaron.
Really?
I never thought that Stannis was going to be the king on the throne at the end of the books, but
He has to die for that king to emerge.
yeah, I agree. But the fact that the show was so easily able to dispose of him says that he's
Just
not as
bad
important as we think. I agree. It may or may not be bad writing, but it tells us things about the end game of the books, because the one thing that both Martin and the showrunners have agreed on is that the show and the books are going to roughly end up at the same place.
No.
Yes,
Can we talk about the inevitable Clegane Bowl that's coming up?
I'm not a believer in that even on the show.
Also,
in the
motif
books
that
it's
they're
confirmed,
developing.
right?
The books, well, it's confirmed in the books if you're a close reader that Stander's alive, but not that he's going to go to King's Landing and fight his zombie
No,
brother.
of course not. But I mean, that's the dream, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the dream.
But the dream also is that there's a new motif in this season, which is people getting their faces splattered against castle walls. And I want that shit to continue because those were the two best scenes in episode 2.
Nah, I like Bran. I got a
Well,
soft
yeah,
spot
of
for
course.
Bran.
I mean, I'm obviously
do as
being a
well.
little facetious, but I mean, having the giant just like grab that motherfucker and just dashing him against the castle wall was fantastic.
I'm a big 1-1 fan too.
As am I. Wan got a good moment this past episode. I think it'll be. I mean, also everything that Danny has done is more or less been hinted at in the books, so it's not a huge surprise. I mean, the big surprises are going to come up
How boring
probably
it
in the
is.
second half of the season. Excuse me.
Really?
I mean,
feel like they've
my
tried to do a twist with absolutely everything. Except
well,
Brent.
was Jon Snow coming up at the end of the episode like a twist?
To
Like,
a
I don't
lot
think
of
it didn't
people,
feel like-
yes. Not to us, but to a
Did-
lot of people, yes. That's why idiots
I
decided
don't-
to
I don't
spoil
know,
it on
like-
Facebook.
I don't know about that. Like I know people who just watched the show, and
Yeah,
all
but
of
you
them
live
expected
in, you live
Jon
in
to come
Brook-
back.
You live in Brooklyn. It doesn't count.
Oh, okay, sure. But to be fair, these people live in Philadelphia, so which everyone knows is
The second
forgotten
most
city.
hipstery place in the world.
the second most. You're counting that ahead of Portland, Austin,
And Stockholm.
Seattle, Stockholm,
Fine. It makes the top 10. Let's move on.
London. Top 10, sure. Tokyo.
Tokyo's hipster?
Anyway, in its own specific way.
Hasn't
Uh,
hipster become passé? Like, isn't the fact that that term
Oh.
has entered the popular lexicon made it like not hipster anymore? Like, isn't that like the very definition?
Lucas, this is something I've been an argument I've been making for like 5 or 6 years, which is that the term hipster, it's not actually latched to anything. It's just here's something I don't like about white people or upper middle class people ages
Just
18
stop
to
it, like-
45. Like just whatever you don't like about American or to a lesser extent global culture of largely white, largely middle or upper class people. So it could be listening to records, it could be these nice wobbly Parker glasses that I have. It could be whatever you think you don't like about that
seen-
culture.
Have
That's
you seen the
hipsters.
rims on these things? Have you seen the rims on these things?
So but it's just detethered from any actual meaning. It's
I
entirely
wear a bow tie.
oppositional
I wear a
phrase.
bow tie to work every day, and people call me hipster, and I'm like, really?
All right, let's move
I'm
on
the
from this.
opposite. I don't
let's
wear
move
a-
on from
I-
this
I don't
hipster
wear a tie at all
conversation.
to work, and people call me hipster. Anyway,
So there's
who's that
no
guy
way to
on the top
recover.
right? That's
There's no
Aaron
way to
Glazer. He is truly a nobody douchebag. Right? Is that what this is saying? Yes. Okay.
yes.
Just following Twit.
Oh, I'm bored with that bullshit.
I'm not watching the
I
stream.
closed
Does
it.
it still say? Does it still say how we learn to stop worrying and play Lannister?
Yes. Well, that's
Oh,
just
that's
the,
not
that's
our
just
name
the
this
thing. It's not
episode. What was our name this episode? Oh, the Cool Kids Table.
the cool kids table. All right. Well, we've clearly
In
run this
parentheses,
into the
in
ground.
parentheses, except Luke.
Oh,
We've run this into the ground.
You can't
My
sit with us.
My poor roommate Nico has yelled at me about being too loud, so I should probably stop.
that was the worst show
But-
review ever. Good night, guys.
Of course, that's the whole point, Aaron.
That's
That's
fitting.
so
This is the worst. This is the worst Thrones podcast ever, right? Isn't that the point?
Sort of.
Well, Stacy Tentos, can I see his details on screen? Is he on Instagram? Actually, Aaron is on Instagram. You can find him if you really want to.
What a douche.
I'm the easiest person to find in the world. It's ridiculous how much Thrones bullshit I do. And by the way, that's Bruno, just so you know.
I understand. Is it
I,
Bruno?
I almost certainly, like, not guaranteed, but I'd bet some fairly good money that that's
Who
Bruno.
was it that had the like "I love Aaron Glazer" screen
Bruno.
name? Was that Bruno? That was Bruno.
Bruno.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
That's why I was
Bruno.
saying this is Bruno. It's
Well,
just
John-
a very Bruno thing to do.
No, it
John,
was
you
I
and
love
I-
Aaron 69.
Yes. All right. Well, if that is John and John is listening right now, John, I hope to meet you at Gen Con. We never have actually met. I've never either met you or Greg. So I look forward to meeting
but
both of you.
You're not really
And-
missing much without missing Greg.
So Buzz, that's like the moment to end on, right?
What? Yes.
Is-
Buzz isn't
That's-
listening to
that's-
this bullshit.
That's the moment to end on.
That's
Just
the moment.
remember to wax your tips and tip your waitresses. That's
Yes.
the line.
And
to
we'll see you all in
stop
2
on.
weeks because apparently the White Book featuring myself, Aaron, and Tommy will be back next week. So much love to Will and Kristen, who are going to get married very soon. And we hope to hope you guys show up again in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching / listening.